spot to start it, like, because that's what like the pros do. They start it like partway through, like you've already had a conversation, like you've been chatting a little bit. Yeah.
First one that I have, like, did you see that fucking video of the dude at Cabela's? That was mind blowing. Like,
no, what happened? What did he do?
Man, it was crazy. So this dude's on, I'm assuming meth, goes in.
What the fuck was Greg doing at Cabela's? Greg's my roommate, has a small peepee. But no, go ahead.
But yeah, so this guy breaks in not breaks in, he goes there during the time, strips off, jumps in, cops show up in the water, the big tank, all the big ass fish was freezing as fuck. He jumps out of there, fucking hits his head, like fucking knocked out. Cops come get him, and he's got the smallest penis ever. I think that's where that micro penis shit came from in my head the other day. I was like, dude, what would it suck if you had a micro penis?
It would suck to have a micro penis.
But they're like bringing him out in cuffs and just zooming in on his little dick, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like, what a bad look for him. Like the rest of his life, employers, like anything.
I mean, it's not a great look, even if you got a hog. Like, it's not like otherwise employees are gonna like see a video of a dude that's like well hung doing that and be like, well, you like he did break into a Cabela's, strip naked, and jump into the fish tank, but dude, look at the fucking hog on that guy. Like,
so anyways, this is the Talks with Friends podcast. I think I'm going to call it that.
Yeah.
I have my friend Dudley the Dragon here. We play men's league together. I'm not allowed to play this week because I'm suspended. But yeah, we are here to talk shit and have a little podcast.
And rightfully so. We can get into the suspension, but just know it's completely unjust, ridiculous, miscarriage of justice. What the fuck? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they're out to get him. It's a fucking conspiracy. They just don't want to.
Yeah, no, it was stupid. A kid was fucking with one of our guys, Dom, on the team, took a couple runs at him. I told the refs, hey, you got to police this or I will.
And this was a grown man. Like, we say kid to refer to people all the time. Like, it's just, he's not bullying a child.
So this dude's getting run all game. It's a no-hit league, so you can't hit. Like, don't fucking hit people. And I'm a fucking hitter, so I'm like, let's do this. So I give the guy a shot in the corner just to remind him, hey, this is not the fucking way we play. And then fucking at the end of the game, kid gives me a fucking trip, then gives me a shot to the kidneys. I have PTSD when I used to piss blood after one of those. And so I fucking run him in the corner, then his buddy comes swinging. At first, he grabbed his stick, and I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be bad. I put my head down so my neck was protected. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, I can't baseball swing on this kid. And now I'm suspended. No gloves came off. No punches were thrown. I'll put the video here.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, man.
Get the live.
So what's that, like $40 I just wasted because I can't play in the game? Like, or whatever.
I'd just be pissed about like in general, like to not get to play hockey too. Like, they're just fun. Like, they're worth the $40 or whatever. But like, yeah, people in that league forget that there's people in the league that fucking really, or at least at one point, really knew what they were doing and just like don't practice as much or their body's gone to shit or whatever. But they forget that they're people that can just actually really fuck them up in that. Like.
It's like, it's a game, man. Like, we're walking around with fucking steel on our feet and fucking sticks. Yeah. Like, you gotta fucking watch yourself out there. Like, that's why I just get so pissed that the refs weren't doing anything. And then at the end, I like had to pick the guy and the ref off at me. Like, get the fucking out. I got a fucking pulled shoulder. My bicep hurts. I'm like, the fuck did I do? I'm an old man. What am I doing out here?
Yeah, this men's league is actually ridiculous because like I've always like seen men's league like I got the story of the ultimate fucking at a tournament I was at that brought us a backstory, but like, dude, the amount of like actually pissed off that people are for fucking men's league games, like, because like I get why there's violence in hockey when you're really trying to play at an elite level, and you really, but like, you know, this is the community fucking like adult league. We're doing this for like, and there's a fight like every second or third game. There's like a full fight, and people are legitimately that upset, like they're gonna fucking earn like a sponsorship or something, or like what the.
I feel like it's always like they're bringing baggage, right? Like that day too, Dom asked me in the parking lot, we were drinking. He's like, "Hey, did you bring something from home? Is that why this happened?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I have good days. I'm like never like fucking mad. I let things slide off my back, but then I'm like, fuck, man, maybe it is. Maybe it's because I didn't get a raise at work. Maybe it's because I didn't get my bonus. Like this, just things that stack and stack.
Oh, a lot of shit subconsciously can definitely like come through, like. Every time there's a fight, I think, like, one of those guys is sleeping on the couch. Like, and that's why he's doing it. Like, one of these guys got fired, or, like, his wife is, like, not giving him it. Like, I feel like it's... Like most things, it's just like, hey, your wife or your girl's pissed at you. That's why people are out here like swinging.
Makes sense. Well, so like with Duds here, he does stand up. That's one of the reasons I want him to have on the first one, but just to see like the hockey player that does stand up, like what the fuck is that about? So I guess let's start there. Like where did hockey come from with you? Is it just like you went to a game? Like what happened that got you into it?
No, legit, it was like I tried every other sport and I didn't like them. Like I bounced around sport to sport. When I was a kid, like, you know, I played baseball like everybody else. It was just everything was too slow. And we had like a roller hockey league. It was the only outdoor roller hockey league in all of Washington State. You want to know why? Washington's a terrible place to play outdoor roller hockey. It rains all the time. It's literally famous for raining. it's a ridiculous, like, they're like, oh, we're the only one in the state. I'm like, huh, well, that's crazy. This is so fun. And then, like, several games every year just rained out. Or, like, we'd get there, and it'd be like, they've canceled the first 2 games, and then, like, everybody's showing up, and they got, like, towels and squeegees, and we're drying off the rink so that we can get it, like, to play in it fast. But it was the fucking greatest. I ended up, like, coaching and reffing in that late. Like, that's what, like, made me fall in love with it. But basically, it was, like, I'd played everything, and I just hated it or sucked at, like, all the sports I was doing. Like, but then in hockey, like, you're going 100% the whole time. They actually keep score. They give a fight. And it was just kind of a new thing, so I did that, and then bullied my parents for a couple years, so they eventually let me play ice hockey, and then...
That's what I was going to ask, because, like, the sport's just so fucking expensive, right? Like, if you could play soccer, basketball, get a ball, get some shoes, you're good to go. Yeah. But, like, how did you... Like, were your parents in a situation where they could afford it? Or was
yeah, definitely. My parents did pretty decent. Like, it's funny, because, like, my parents, like, they do well. We're probably, like, you know, they're, like... I don't know, top 50%. In America, like, yeah, probably top 50%, but, like, right in the middle, but, like... They realized that they were doing just well enough to where, like, they could go and move to, like, a high level area. So we were like, we were doing good, like, upper middle class, but we felt poor because they moved to an area where, like it's very regular. People are making like seven, 8 figures, like in some of the parents, like it's like a suburb of Seattle called Bainbridge Island. It's fun. Like, a bunch of the residents are just seasonal. Like, there's a bunch of, like, all the homes, like, around the rim of the island are multi-million-dollar homes. And, like, a lot of people just live there during the summer because it's amazing during the summer. And it kind of sucks during the, like, I think it's 30% of our residents are seasonal. And, like, a lot of them are retired, too. It's a dope place to be, like, 1 to 12 years old. And then, like... once you have a family onward, but, like, it's a shitty place to be just, like, a regular adult. There's nothing fucking going on. So if you don't have a family or are retired, like, you gotta get the fuck out of there. But shit, where'd I start?
And then, like, for hockey, right, you start out there in Washington. What was the trajectory for you? Were you looking to play juniors? Like, you just
I had no idea about, like, any of that shit at all because, like, I joined late. So that's another reason it was hard to get them to let me play ice hockey. It's not just because it was expensive, it's because the nearest rink was 45-minute drive. And so it was like they had to really know that. So it was like after years of me like being like, hey, I really want to do it. Like, I do care about this. I fucking love hockey. They eventually let me, you know, do it. Like, and because that's a fucking huge commitment, like several hours every fucking multiple days a week. But then the funny part is we joined, and then a bunch of the moms on our team had their own like women's league team. And they were short. They didn't qualify for a tournament. So they convinced my mom to play. So like my first year playing, my mom, like at 50 years old, I'm like 39. I don't know if she's gonna hear this, but she hates bringing it up because I'm super proud of her. But like she hates anybody bringing up her age, you know, like a fucking lady. But like, so she starts playing, and like there's a bunch of jokes about like the ref came up to her, was like, "You improved so much since the first period." At the end of the game, like it was her first time in a tournament just so they could make quota, and she fucking falls in love with it. A couple years later, my dad's playing. My sister finally started taking classes. She held out for a while, but like, but yeah, so then they immediately, like, it took me forever to convince them, but then they're just, like, on board, but, like...
So how did you get to college hockey, then? Was that, like, got recruited, or was it just...
I just wanted to keep playing. I was like, I'm not getting... Like, I was okay for Washington, but, like, it was, like, I'd be like, damn, I'm pretty good, and then we go to a tournament in Canada, be like, oh, no, I'm not good. Like, I'm not good at all.
That's
and,
a
like,
fucking wake-up call,
if I ever played any, like, East Coast guy... Because, like, yeah, like, I went to... So I played for the first time, like, club at DePaul in Chicago, where I went to school for a little bit. And, like, the guys that played the same level that I did were way better than me. Like, just, like, Midwest is just a different level of hockey. So I was, like, I was playing AA and stuff, and I even played, like, a season of juniors. But only because my fucking, the rink we had was so, like, shit. They didn't even have a AA team. They just had a house team and a junior team. So I, like, kind of had to. They knocked a bunch off the price because, like, I just wanted to be able to like hit like but
that's my favorite thing in the world is hit, not women, just guys in hockey.
Yeah, like because where you should like I like because like my dream is to like I don't just like want to fight and hurt people, but like I'd love to like righteously get into a fight with somebody. Like I want to like catch somebody like harassing a lady or something, or like catch it and be like, yeah, pretty much, like, or just like somebody I want to like, not that I want women to be harassed, but I want a lady nearby me to be getting harassed so that I can step in because I want to be able to beat the shit out. Like Like, I like hurting guys on the rink, but, like, only when it's, like, competitive and it's, like, okay for me to do that. I don't want to just, like, hurt people.
Well, and that's why I was mad about Benoit. And I'm friends with this Benoit guy that played on the team after this little suspension thing, right? I get kicked out of the game. After the game, I hear that he's in the parking lot waiting for me. And I'm like, okay, I'm in Texas, right? There's guns, knives. Like, I don't know if he's got his buddies there, right? So I'm like, fuck. So I'm standing inside having a beer watching the game after ours, and this guy comes in.
There's knives
outside.
everywhere. There's guns only in Texas, but knives exist all over the place.
So he walks in the rink, and he's like, he's got his bag in one hand, beer in the other hand, and he's like, hey, Uzi, fuck you. You think you're fucking tough because your dad played in the NHL? I'm like, bitch, that's how I fucking know it. Like, what are you fucking talking about? And so he's like, I'm like, dude, we're done. The game's over. Like, why are you doing this? Like, there's a line you can't cross, and I keep receipts, and I will fucking always remember that day.
Yeah.
Like, that's total bullshit. Mm-hmm. So coming up, this girl had to get in front. Like, there's like 40 people around that I don't even know, and I'm like fucking talking shit to this guy, and I'm like, drop your fucking beer in your bag. Let's fucking go right here. We'll be on live bar. I'll sue your ass. Like, I heard he got like a settlement of like $10 million or something. I'll take all that, bitch, Benoit. Like, I'm calling you out right now, bitch. Like, that is wild to come up to someone.
Do it live on the pod.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, and I'm friends with them, so it's like, dude, what is happening here? And I get it, wires crossed. I did the same thing in the game. I get it, but when the game's over, it's over, dude. And then he's like, I'm gonna get you next game. Okay, dude, now I know. Like,
why would you let me know that? Like,
I'm gonna be prepared. Like, what are you fucking doing? Like, I think about, like, because back in the day, one thing that sucked being a aggressive player or a whatever you want to call him, a goon in hockey for me.
Yeah.
Like, the night before, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go fight this 6'4" guy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fucking sleep. You lose sleep. You're freaking out. You're thinking in your head. Yes, I had to mentally prepare for it, but, like, I'm thinking about how the fight's going to go, and then as soon as you step in there and the guy fucking Superman punches you, you're like, oh, fuck, the plan's off. Shit, what do I do now? So, like, that was one thing I hated about being an enforcer, if you will, is that the anxiety. And other guys just rolled off their back, no big deal. They're 6'4". When you're 5'11", $160, it's like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I hope I'm just unassuming, and they're like, oh, he's not going to throw a punch, and I just uppercut them or something. But, like, that's what sucked about it. And I think that there's a line in life and anything, right? You play different roles. As soon as the game's over, I'm back to Kyle. We're all friends. We'll have a beer together. I don't have any hard feelings for these people. I'm going to see them again next fucking week. So it's like, I don't understand what the fuck he thought that was going to do. Like, just to make him look cool. Like, I don't know. He's got a fucking big scar on his head and, like, coming in look like a drunk, like, homeless guy. Like, I don't think, what did he think the outcome of that would have been? Like, sorry. Like, what am I gonna
I always wonder what people think, like, is going to be like when they, like, flip out. Because, like, my sister's got some, like, anger problems. She'll start flipping out on people. I'm like, how do you not, like, because I always have a fucking secondary dialogue going through, making me feel like just telling me everything's dumb. And sometimes that's helpful because I, like, never lose my shit. I very rarely, like, lose my shit. Like, when I get really pissed off, I kind of internalize it more often. But, like, I just always have that second that week. And so it can make me level-headed, but it can also, like, I, like, don't go for things sometimes that I kind of should. And, like, in hockey, I was definitely missing. I was kind of jealous of, like, I don't want to actually, like, snap and, like, get into a big-ass fight, like, because I don't want to do that. But, like, I couldn't, like, get into the game at the same level. Like, I was always just like, yeah, we're playing a game. Like, I'm competitive, I want to win, but, like, I just couldn't get to that, like, in the zone. I was just never doing that. Fucking, my ADHD is crazy. Yes, I think that's a big part of it.
Well, I don't know, I was just always dialed for it. Like, I saw my dad as a fighter in the NHL. I was like, when I never made it to the NHL, it sucked, but I was already there.
Yeah.
I saw how fucking hard it was to put food on the table, and it's not like he's a construction worker like me, but, like, he's getting paid to fucking go out there and fight, throw the body, change the momentum of a game. Like, that's wild to me, but I digress. But it's just, like, not making it or whatever, like, just being able to see all that and experience it, it's not all it's cracked up to be, man. Like, it fucking sucks. And then what do you do when you're 35 or 30 and all your experiences, I played pro hockey, like, what's your next move? Like,
and that was before you could just start a podcast. Now you can just
now I can just fucking be drunk one night and be like, I should do a podcast.
Yeah, but you have to also just, like, be fun already. Like, you already have to have a podcast personality. They'd be like, well, you can go into media when you're tired. No, you have to be, like, a media guy. Like, the guys that did, like, it's for every dude that goes into media. Oh, but fucking, that's why I want to say, like, the fun, like, difference, because, like, yeah, your dad's an NHL for, like, he touches, like, then this thing goes, like, of, what you do is, like, fucking tough guy. Like, my dad was a liberal intellectual. Like, my family life was kind of fun. Like, it was just, like, absolutely none of that. My parents are just liberal. Like, my mom didn't even want us to have squirt guns around the house because they were too close to regular guns. Jesus, and she thought, like, and it was, yeah, dude, like, they were real. Like, I'm crazy. Like, I turned out, like, I'm pretty middle of the road, but compared to what I like should have ended up, or like my parents were huge badass, biggest fucking badass in the family for sure. But yeah, they're very level-headed.
So how was your time at Washington? Did you play? Because when I first met you, you came down here for the summer and played with us.
Yeah,
and then you took off, and I didn't see you for what, 2 years?
No, it's just a year because it was I'll go through the general backstory. So so I was going to DePaul in Chicago, and then the pandemic hit there, and I did like 1 quarter of online school. I was like, this is fucking terrible. I can't do this. So I just I popped out of school. It's like once classes are back in person, I'll come back, and then I realized like there's no point being in Chicago because like the only reason I went to Chicago was to be in Chicago and do Chicago shit, like stand up, be in a big city. Because I'm from the Seattle area. Okay. Yeah, and so that's where I started really doing stand up. Was in Chicago.
What age is that?
That's like 19. Like, excuse me.
And does like a guy come to you and be like, dude, you're kind of funny. You should come do a set?
No, I was just a class clown my whole time, and I was like, and I just kind of wanted to like it seemed cool. I'd like no job ever looked that like interesting. Like I didn't want to do a job. And I'm like, I can make people laugh. Like if I can just turn that into like traveling around the world, like because that's what I like. Need to figure out is all the business part of it and just how to like write and shit too, because I'm like the way I think of it is like I always say it's like I know I'm funny, but you got to convince everybody else. Like being funny isn't stand-up, it's convincing people that you're funny. There's this whole like thing, like there's a like
what would you call yourself as a stand-up? Are you more telling stories? Are you trying to be like what's in the news? Like what's your you say I tell you tonight you're gonna do a set and it has to be brand new. What would you go with today? You're just a 5. Like, what do you do? Do you break down like 10 topics and then go from there, and then maybe okay, 5 of those work, make them a minute each, kind of thing, or like are you already like you've got a couple in the back and you're ready to throw them out? Like is it one-liners? Is it stories? What do you? Yeah,
so I kind of want to start telling more stories because I'm like one of those people that just like by default like I'm not interesting. Like what's interesting is like what's out there. So I do a lot of like observational stuff and just like things that are fun. But like I kind of want to do more stories because like that shit like is funny, and I just like. You know, you fall into ruts. I'm still figuring out my style. I'm not like I don't have like my like exact voice. Like I'll do sets in kind of totally different like cadences and shit. I'm trying to figure out what works for me. But like
I always hated when guys were like, "Oh, I'm like Kinnison," or "I'm like Joe," and I'm like, "Well, no, those are their own people." Like I never wanted to take one comedian and be like, "I'm gonna fucking piggyback off his points of view, his whatever storytelling or whatever." It's just. I hate that that's a start. Like when my kids like, my favorite player is Colin McCarr. Okay, yeah, he's a fucking awesome player. I get that. You do the same moves, but maybe take a piece from him, take a piece from Ray Bort. Like whatever it is, you have to like kind of mold.
And that's how I always like when people ask, I'll be like, oh, I'm kind of like imagine like Bill Burr combined with like who's like there's a guy that I really like was good. I forget what the exact pair like I used to use, but yeah, you gotta like have the combinations because I noticed that like my cadence will change like if I get into like because I love Norm Macdonald, maybe my all-time favorite comic, and also I'll spend like 2 days just like watching a shitload of Norm videos on YouTube, and then I'll notice that the next open mic I go to like my cadence is a little like it's a little normish. You
guys ever
yeah, you know, it gets kind of I've seen myself, like, I'll go back and I look at, like, an old video, and I was like, oh, I know I was watching a ton of Norm videos that week, because I'm, like, delivering the jokes kind of like in the, like, pausey way that he talks, and it's like, yep, that was a Norm week, or, like, there was a Mitch week, or there was, like, a Louis C.K. week, like, that's when I was doing that, but...
Can you imagine if Mitch Hedberg was still around? Like,
dude.
What he would have created, maybe it was 2 years later he dies, but I'm just, like, I don't know, like, the shit that he says, that's one of my favorite, because I'll pop in my head, like, fuck, man, these little short, crazy jokes that this guy fucking does.
I quote Mitch all the time. Like, an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs. Every single time I see a broken escalator, I record myself going up it, saying that bit, and put it on my Snap story.
So, with your...
but yeah, let me get back to the trace. So I'm going to Chicago, and then I realize... that I want to like study abroad within my first 2 years. So I go and I do I do literally 1 quarter at DePaul, and then immediately take a half quarter off because like their quarters are offset or whatever. So I had to take like 2 off to do 1. And so I worked at a ski resort near my hometown for a little bit, and then did a semester in Australia, which thank God, because it was like I think I was like the last one or one right before like when COVID hit, because the next quarter I get back. School gets canceled and everything, and like people who were doing the same thing I was doing, but like a couple months later, they got stuck in Australia, like, and they couldn't leave for like a while. I forget what exactly it was like. It was gonna be that close, but like, yeah. So everything shut down. I was like, fuck this, and I moved back home. and then started up school from there and did my last 2 years of school at UW. And, played there. That was dope. Also worked at a summer camp in Maine. At DePaul, we were pretty good.
I've heard of DePaul. Like when Washington State, when you went or I saw that's where you played. I'm like, oh, okay, what is that?
Yeah, but like for hockey, you don't really know. But we won the Pac-8 for like the. It was the first time we'd ever won a game at regionals. Was my senior graduating year at UW. And it was like, that was a big deal for our program, and our coach won like Coach of the Year, which is still bullshit. Like, I'm gonna give it up. Fuck, I had to be with my coach, fucking fat bitch. Hated that dude.
Fuck that guy.
Partially because he didn't play me. That's part of it.
Powers, fuck you, ASU, you little bitch. I can come to that alumni game this weekend. I don't want your free beer. I can afford it myself.
Yeah, I need the free beer, but still, fuck you. I'm just blanking on, how am I blanking on his name? I hate this motherfucker. He's a fat bitch.
I feel like his name's Bill.
It's definitely not Bill. He was just a very boring, forgettable dude. But hey, yeah, they gave him the fucking Coach of the Year, and it was like, hey, listen, like we happened to get this dude who's just unreal, led the league in score, like our division or league in scoring by like 15 or 20 points. Like it was absurd. He had played like higher level juniors, and then comes into club and just was.
What was his name?
Michael Shippey. He played on the Seattle Totems. Yeah, dude.
Fucking name.
We called him Ship, dude. Yeah, dude, he was so filthy. He was like short, but he would just tomahawk around the zone and then just like find people back door, and we were just absolutely disgusting. We probably could have won it the year before too. Like, first of all, not the strongest division is like Washington and shit, but we got the playoffs canceled the year before for COVID, which was absolutely ridiculous. Like a bunch of people got COVID over break. And then the playoffs weren't until February, but they just canceled the whole rest of the season. They were just like, fuck it, because like a bunch of people tested public. Because obviously they're going to. They went home and then they're coming back. Like, fucking, still bitter about that. Bitter about my coach. But yeah, we were fucking nasty. But then, yeah, once you play like other teams from around the country, the places that really play hockey, it's like, oh, now we go. Like when you play like an East Coast team or a Midwest team, they'll fuck you up. But yeah, our retarded coach got the fucking Coach of the Year just because he happened to have like an unreal roster. He did fuck all. Dude, contributed absolutely nothing to the team. I wanted to kick him in the crotch when he like mentioned as if he did anything to like win the fucking Coach of the Year. It's like, hey, you happen to have fucking Shippey and then like a handful of other really good guys that like kind of like you have all the good guys at the right year and shit, and like
just fucking right place,
had a good goalie too. Yeah, but the biggest reason I had beef because I played goalie on the side. Like I played a bunch when I was a kid, and like. So my junior, yeah,
okay.
I'm all right, but
score on you?
Probably, like I'm not that good, like, but like the year before, so my junior year, I actually had to start 2 games because our goalie hurt himself. That we had this backup goalie, it was a character, it was like kind of charity case. Why was only like he had recently started playing, but like. I felt kind of bad because he'd been playing backup goalie for us in practice all year and, like, started, like, 1 game against the fucking worst team in the league, and then we had to take him out after the first period. But, like, so I come in after, like, I only had, like, that week told people that I play goalie on the side and I have my own gear. And then, like, I come in and just take the job from him that he thought was his. Like, oh, the goalie finally got hurt. I'm finally going to get the start. And I come in. But yeah, so the first game I let in 1 goal. And I was like, I'm fucking sick. Luckily, it was against a team that wasn't that good. But then, like, I had been practicing so much that week, and I, like, burnt out my body, and I didn't realize, like, how fucking hard it is. And I let in, like, 10 the next game.
Like, how many times do you think you go up and down in a game? Like, yeah, it's just fucking insane.
Yeah. And I went, like, to like, stick and pucks during the week to practice, like, get my skills, but I forgot that, like, I haven't used those muscles in years.
And
like
always fuck up their hips.
It's always like the hip flex. It's all those little muscles right around like your hips and knees and ankles and shit. Because like you gotta move yourself in such weird ways. But like, So here's the thing. So we thought that we wouldn't have a goalie my senior year, and so he tells me like, hey, can you work on goal? Like you might actually need to start for us. Like and like our team was good enough to where even if I was kind of crappy, we could have been competitive. Like with me starting. So I spend all summer like barely do any playing.
You get a goalie coach?
I didn't get a goalie coach, but I just like went to like drop-ins, like we just working on my goalie and shit. And I come back and we had 3 goalies at the camp, including like our starter that was returning. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I could have been, because I was a guy that was like, I was playing most of the games, but only a couple shifts. Like I was a 4th line guy. I was like, wasn't that fast. And then so like I could have been working on myself. Like I was busting my ass to be a better goalie and like so I could keep the team competitive. It's like I could have been putting that work into playing. And then I like,
drop that on you at tryouts.
Yeah, I literally like I show up and I see other goalie gear and I'm like, hey, you couldn't have told me this? He's like, oh, we didn't. He like gave me the fucking roundabout, and then so I'm stuck on the fucking fourth line. I was like, I was willing to fucking do all this shit. Could have busted my
up, like, because they knew that 2 months in advance that these guys.
Even if they didn't know it that far in advance, like the fact, like even if it was a little bit in advance, like, hey, sorry, we didn't know, because like you have to make your decision on where to go to school at this point. Like I know there's all that shit, but like, yeah, and I was super clear about like, hey, I don't want this to end up happening, and then it's exactly what fucking happened. And then I would like ask him like, hey, like, I only played like, a minute last game. Like, what am I doing? Like, is there anything I can do better to like move up the roster? Like, no, you're playing fine. Like, who gives a fuck? And like, and he would just like, kind of just like give me the roll around. It's like, dude, like I clearly like want to fucking bust my ass. But
I wish like that's a thing that I try to work on with
Matt
Joe.
Clayton. That's the guy.
It's like we're coaching these 14-year-old kids, 14 and under, and like I'm just straight up with them. Like we tell the backup goalie, you are not playing unless we're playing a shit team. And I just feel good for you that day or something. Or our goalie forgets his jersey at the start. Or like, this is 14U hockey.
Yeah.
In 1 to 2 years, you guys can be drafted to the WHL. None of them will be, but like. This is not a fucking, we get 50-50 with the goalies. Like, just be straight up with them at front, and then just don't lie to them. Like, I would love a kid to say that to me. Come up and be like, hey, man, what can I do to get better? You know what? You're a little slow. Your decision-making is not great, so maybe play a lot of NHL at home, and that'll help you with systems. And like,
my assistant coach eventually, like, did that to me. I've learned to come to him, who was a dope guy. Like, he was awesome. But all of our coaching staff, except for our head coach, were dope. I don't know what the fuck the thing was. He just had more free time.
A weird dynamic with my team. Not weird, it's great. Like Joe's like the fucking, I'm the fucking boss. If you're late, you're skating. Like he's the law of the land or whatever. Then I'm there to be the little best friend, fucking wearing weird sneakers and shit. Like I'm trying to be I'm fucking 33. I'm trying to be a fucking 10-year-old.
You need a friend coach and a discipline coach. You need like this
and then
essential.
We added a third with Cody DePork, where he's like the X's and O's, like fucking like he's the guy drawing up the play.
That's
like he'll run the practice plan. Like fuck yeah, dude. Like I'll be their best friend. You're the fucking beat the shit out of them dad, and then we got this guy with the X's and O's that played a high level of hockey. Like what a mix. And to be honest, like hopefully they don't get too mad, but I think all three of us are out next year.
Oh shit.
We're just like, this is too much. This dealing with parents, that's the worst.
Oh yeah, dude, the parents are the fucking.
How were your parents as hockey? They just didn't know enough.
So they never played hockey. They never gave a fuck about hockey until I played. So they were the perfect, like, in terms of like team parents. And it kind of sucked. Like, I wish they did, because like every game I would go, like, even if I was like not that good, they'd be like, oh, you're so amazing, I love what you're doing, because they just don't know shit about hockey. And like they play, and I'm so much better than them. So like they're like, oh, that's amazing what you do out there, and I'm like, no, like I got to improve. Like I need to like know what's to do better. Like they're like, because like I hear about like other parents. I'm sure your dad did. Like, hey, you fucked up doing this. You need to do this better. Do that. Like after every game he watches, you know. But like my parents have no fucking clue what I need to be doing. So like I literally coach them. Like,
and that's what sucks for the parents, right? They're coming at me saying, "Oh, it's your fault for that loss. You put the wrong line out at the end of the game."
I cannot imagine, like, dude. Some parents are.
But you don't know anything about hockey, and like just this pinky has more knowledge in it than any parent combined on my fucking team. So it's like, do not come at me with that shit. And Cody and Joe were gone for a weekend. We played our little in-house rivals here, the Mallards. I'm suspended forever from the rink. What the fuck? But like we play them, and I'm telling the kids before the game, I'm wearing a fucking full suit. I'm going in there telling them I wear a suit for 3 things: for weddings, funerals, and ass kicking.
I think my coach had a similar line for us. Yeah.
Okay, let me finish it, and then you tell me the line. So I go, I only wear a suit for 3 reasons: for a funeral, a wedding, or ass kicking. I don't see a fucking coffin, and I don't see a bride out there. So let's go kick their fucking ass. And we go out there and lose. And after that game, I'm getting texts from the parents. This is a coaching issue. And then I walk past some moms, like, can't wait for Joe and Cody to get back. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is a mutiny? I'm on a 7-day fast.
Some moms
Day
are
6 of a 7-day
worst,
fast, and I'm hearing this shit. I'm like, I'm gonna hunt them down and eat them. Like, I'm going crazy. But what was his line?
Oh no, he just said some kind of like simple, like he didn't have it like down to a line. He would just say the only time I wear like suits is for hockey games.
That is not.
Well, it wasn't like part of his speech. It was just like you would just say that. I didn't realize you had it like as like a bit.
I sat there the night before. I'm like,
you're just writing lines. You're like, all right, what am I?
So they're like, what the fuck? I'm rocking my death watch. I got fucking swag.
Were you going like full suit and then still had like the Jordans on?
No,
like, because I feel that can be a look if you pull it off right.
Like you saw my closet. There's so many shoes. There's dress shoes. There's whatever. But those are mine. Those green ones are always on the bench unless I'm wearing a suit.
Yeah.
We did it 2 days in a row because we lost to them, like heartbreaker, and the next day like, oh, you're in the bronze game. I'm like, fuck yes, let's run it back. And we did not run it back. Fucking
We lost. So yeah, I will remember that day. These kids, like I'm telling them before too, like I will remember you on my deathbed if we beat these guys.
Because they're gonna be in the same fucking suit.
And, like Patrick Kane's cousin is the coach on that team. That kid we play every couple weeks. So I'm like, fuck this guy. He's got that on me now. Like, what's up, Husey? How are those L's tasting? That's the last time I saw him. He said that to me. Like, god damn it. Dude,
fucking, I don't know. I got other shit going on in my life. It's not like I'm ruminating on the fact that you beat me in men's league or that your team of 14-year-olds beat my team of 14-year-olds 3 weeks ago. Like,
and they took all the good goalies in Austin, so they roster 3. So I wish I could get that third one to be our starter.
Yeah.
But they roster 3. It's a travel private team. They pay out the ass for travel. And she's going to St. Louis, Denver. So it's like, dude, if we could have just had one of those fucking goalies.
Dude, you got to get to that goal. It's like parents like, hey, like, yeah, he might be on like the best team, but think about it, he's not getting the reps. Like, he could come and start every single game for us instead of be sitting on the bench. Like, I feel like that's a good pitch. Like, if you want him to go somewhere, he's not going to do it sitting on the fucking bench.
Well, it's just so weird.
You know, like,
we
get
have
him
all these
someplace.
different teams here. Like, why? We should just be together and fucking put all our talent pool
and have
together.
it like at different, like just have different levels so you can like bring people up and down and
hey, you guys got a guy hurt. Here's like it's just insane that we're just like fuck you. You're at a different rink. You fucking loser. Like no, dude, that shouldn't be the way it is in hockey. Like especially with how small hockey is here. Yeah. Like, fuck, we probably know all the goddamn guys that play.
It's even smaller than in Washington. Like, like, we didn't have a ton of...
It's nuts to me, the way that the politics of this all. Like, you know, in Canada, the government pays for it. So there's no money involved.
It's like
Who
ubiquitous.
Cares?
It's like
Nobody's
high school
trying
sports,
to fucking get a little extra on the side. Like, it's like... You know, for here, if I want to rent ice for an hour, it's $550. That's a quote from Chaz 3 weeks ago, the rink manager. If I go to Canada right now to my dad's old rink that his buddy is at, and just their high rate is $225. Yeah. So it's half...
Probably cheaper to keep the ice frozen in Canada too. I bet the energy bills are a lot fucking higher here in Austin.
Insulation there.
Yeah, but no, dude, I literally like I'll talk to people. And this is one thing I say in the broadcast. Oh, another thing I do is I do the broadcasting for the UT club hockey team. Fucking,
you didn't have to say club. Cool. Just the hockey team.
Yeah, but like when it's something I'm involved with, I always gotta like disclaim it because like I don't want to seem like I'm being cool.
Well,
but like,
here's a question for you. Somebody asked me the other day, "Are you a professional hockey coach?" And I said no, because in my mind,
like they're giving you money, right?
Yes,
like yes, so you are a professional hockey coach, but you're not coaching pro hockey.
Yeah, so that's where I was like, this, like in my mind, it's just like, I short circuited, and I'm like, hold on, what? Hold on, am I? But like, I'm doing private lessons. I'm walking out with $300 a week from that if I show up. It's been a while, and then like I'm coaching with Joe. We get a check cut off to us at the middle and then the end of the year. So technically, I guess I'm a professional coach, but in my head, when they say that, that's my dad. He coached professionally.
But that's also like that's just a semantics. Like that's an English language thing. Like, do you mean am I a professional coach of hockey, or am I coaching professional hockey? Because those are two different questions. You know, like, and so so I'm professionally, I guess, like I make $40 a game doing the UT announcing, but like
I didn't think they paid you.
Yeah, fucking. Maybe I should keep out that. Yeah, it's literally like it's like what's the type of like the gas to go there and then the beer I drink while I'm there.
What's the
I don't drink during the games. What fucking? I'm professional.
Narcs.
But I don't think I'm like not allowed to. But like you know, just don't mention it. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
You want.
But yeah, and then
so what's the furthest you've gone with them? You go every game?
I just do the home games.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't like travel with them. I'm gonna ask if I can come down because the playoffs are just in Dallas. Like I'll go put myself up in Dallas because like I kind of fell in love with it. Like it seemed like a fun thing to do, but I'm like kind of sick at it. I'd be like, dude, if I do this for a year or two and then like just try to find like higher and higher level like hockey teams. There's thousands of hocky teams around like North America and the world. Like dude, like
I don't know what they'd pay more than $40, but.
Yeah, but this is like I've did like every year or two like go up like one level, but like I do want to kind of like I can see myself doing this as a career and like you know move up to a professional.
And does that translate to stand up at all? Like, do you feel more confident in just talking, or
I think it was kind of like they come from the same things. Like they don't go. It's not like I got good at talking by doing stand up or announcing, vice versa. Like I was always like a talker. Like it just comes from having like really crazy ADHD and like I would always come up with stuff like, oh, I got a funny story. Ask me about my fucking one roommate one time because like I had an epiphany about myself about him. Yeah, no, that fucking guy. Yeah, so like I'm just like good at talking out my ass, and so like in one version of that is doing stand up, but I also like it's like they come from the same place basically, but they don't like influence each other.
For me,
I would
with
say
stand-up, I've never ventured into that. I do write jokes. I run them by you when we're drinking in the parking lot and stuff. But for me, I was working as libraries assistant in high school, 9th grade. I left in 10th to go play hockey in Canada. So it was like the easy elective thing. I don't know what the fuck it was for. But anyway, she's like, we need an MC for this poetry night. And I'm like, the fuck's that? She's like, okay, you go on the stage, you call them up by name, maybe do a little bit here, bit there, get the crowd going, whatever. Amazing. Dude, the energy I felt, it was electric. Like, it was just like when that guy came back in the rink and started yelling at me. Everything was tingling. Dude. I'm like, oh.
It's like when you match, like, pitch when you're singing along to music, and you can feel there's, like, that extra sense. I don't know what it's, like, called, but you can kind of feel that they match. Like, that's what you get. Like, I think the first time that I really, like... Fuck, man.
Heartburn. This episode is sponsored by...
Fucking Tums. You get Tums to bring on. I'll give you a bucket of money. No, I won't give you any money. I'm broke. But Tums, please give me free Tums. I need them. Fuck, what was this?
You're going on about, like, I was talking about my first, like, stand-up. Like,
I
don't call that stand-up, but that was my first, like, oh shit, my dick's hard. Like,
no. That feeling is crazy because, like, I was student body president in school. Cause I did it for a goof. Like, I did it because I wanted to, like, just do a speech in front of the school.
We're gonna have
and
candy in the fucking vending machine.
No, like, pretty much. Like, so, like, you can actually still find the Facebook page, Studley for President on Facebook. Ooh, it has all of the, like, the posters that I made, but, like, they're a little, like, like, that was for when the senior year when I ran for, like, student body, but I was class president the year before. And I wrote, like, I took a picture of the front of my head and a picture of the back of my head, and it said, like, business in the front, business in the back, Alex Dudley, all business. And then, like, I had one was like, Alex Dudley will rule with an iron fist, and then it crossed out iron fist instead of loving and caring. Oh wait, no, the loving and caring heart. The best one that I have is the greatest marketing move I ever made in my life. Like, I just want to make the school cry. I eventually ended up winning and just didn't give a fuck. They tried to impeach me. Dude, I actually have a lot of stuff. This is a great lane of stories. Oh, dude, let me get into it, dude. I'm fucking hyped about talking about this. Like, not because I'm proud of, like, being sick in high school, but, like, there's just a lot of funny shit happened. But yeah, so the greatest sign I made was Alex Dudley loves, you know, 3 things. Like, he loves hockey, and I had a little picture of like, something to do with hockey. He loves rock music, and I had, like, you know, like a little double horns thing. Like, but do you know what he loves most of all? And there's a little flap that you could lift up, and it was a mirror. He loves you most of all, the constituents.
You got my heart fluttering in there. That's fucking shit. Was it a big mirror? Or was
it was like just like a little like mirror you get at the hardware store, like for COVID, like, and you like flap it up and just like it's like you. And I like to think I put it at the level so where like when girls would flip it up, like they would like it would like look at their tits and they'd be like, that's what he loves truly, you know. But you would get the
it's like flashing you with the fucking president.
Ideally, yeah, but. But yeah, so I just made a mockery of the whole thing and then, like, won because apparently also I accidentally committed voter fraud because you just needed a school email to...
doing it, it's normal.
Yeah, well, it's cool when you do it in high school. When you do it to fucking in the whole country, it's a different story. But, like,
what?
No, because, like, all you need was a school email and you could vote. And so I had a bunch of, like, people in other classes like, hey, they actually, like, you can log on, like, and you can vote, like, for your class as well as your own. So a bunch of, like, people from other classes voted for me. And that's, and yeah, I fucking won. I didn't go to most of the meetings, cause fuck that. Like, and they were like, did you even read the BHS school constitution? Like, first of all, obviously, no, I didn't read. We have a constitution. Are you being ridiculous right now? But the funniest part was, like, cause I didn't give a fuck about their stupid rules. But also, like, they couldn't just kick, like, if they had just kicked me out, I would have been like, oh, well, that sucks, alright. Well, I mean, I would have made a stink about it, and I would have made it as hard for them as possible, but, like, They could have just kicked me out. I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. But they cared so much about their own stupid rules that they couldn't get, like, the quorum. Like, they had it written down, like, what you need to impeach a president, like, a class president, and, like, they couldn't get it. So it was like, it was their own stupid fucking rules that mean they couldn't fucking kick me out. It was ridiculous. I obviously shouldn't have been there. I rarely showed up to anything. Like, I just made a mockery of it. I just, like, doing the morning announcements, and I just did it to, like...
That's a stand-up right there. Just doing the morning announcements.
Yeah, dude, it was fun as fuck. Every Friday, I did a fun fact. I made up a fact to try to see if people would notice that it was just a completely fake fact. But yeah, dude, it was fucking, I had a blast. And they changed the rules of they made it so they changed the format of the election so that nobody like me would ever win again. because like they made it into like an interview thing, so like you couldn't just do a speech. Because the reason I won is I just did a speech in front of everybody and cracked everybody up, and everybody else was like, "Well, I'm gonna fix the water fountain." You're not gonna fucking fix the water fountain. It's not your fucking job. You're a high school like.
I'm a subcontractor.
Person,
my
like,
dad runs a.
We organize dances, and then at some point the reunions, and like that's why I went for student body instead of class president, so I don't have to fucking schedule the reunions every 10 years. But like we do the dances and the fundraisers.
Have you been to
no, we haven't had one yet. We have it's like another year or two. Yeah.
God damn it! I've been invited to like 3 because I went to school here in Round Rock, left at like 16, 17. Then I graduated in Canada, so I have those 2, and then at ASU, like the alumni game was this weekend. They're like, hey, it's $100. Cool, and it's only $118 to go round trip, free beers, go out. There's supposed to be an alumni game. Now that's what I wanted because I'm in the best shape of my life at 30 and like you see me, I rip around. It's when I want to, not like.
Oh yeah, dude. Because this dude fucking is in great goddamn shape. I bet, dude. Like I barely fucking recognized you when I came because I came in for a summer, and then went back, finished up school, and then moved here when I graduated. Completely different man. Just fucking lost a ton of weight. Looks great.
Yeah, I was 225 when you first met me.
Jesus, I wouldn't have guessed that, but I would have guessed closer to 200. Yeah, like and then.
They say I wore it well.
You definitely
internal
did.
Organs did not. Like, dude, it was visceral fat factory. It was fucking gross. But yeah, got all that shit. You come back. I'm like, God damn it, it was like a spark with you. Like I remember you from the past, but it was like right back to square one with us. Like,
it was just like summer season.
Yeah, it was like, oh fuck, man, like dude, this is Duds. I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen you in a while.
That's male friendships, man. It's just a vibe. Like you click and like there would be somebody like, oh, man, I really should have looked this person up, and then I'll be like going through their town, like we'll hang out, and be like, oh yeah, like after like 5-10 minutes of awkwardness, it's like. And then you like get to it, like once you get into a topic, you just kind of cut loose.
Well, that's what I've been doing lately.
Wait, don't I forget? I just remembered this for a second. Like I brought you a little gift once I all
oh shit! Gifts for the first podcast. We get a gift. Oh my god! It's just a gun.
To bring this in here.
What do we have here, sir?
Yeah, I was gonna just like wait for, but now I forget what we were talking about. But I got this for the sock is protective. There's not like the sock is not involved. You can have the sock if you'd like. I just didn't want it to get chipped up. But yeah, so this is a piece of a. My family's had this for I'm not sure how. It's not like a family like heirloom or anything in the sense, but like my family's Russian, so we have a bunch of these, and so it's just one like yeah, it's a nesting goal, but it's just one piece. There's the rest of it is not there.
Dude.
But I brought it with me from home. Like we had a shitload of them and. Right down, so I want to give out a little of this Russian culture out to some people.
Right in front of my top prospects.
Yeah. The cool part of Russian culture, not the part where you invade people and fuck with them and, global communism and all that shit. I don't stand with that, but like, there's a lot of good stuff about Russian culture that's fun.
So, what was the reason for you to even come to Austin? Was it like the whole rush of comedians, or like
indirectly? But like, my best friend from high school moved down here, and yeah. Also, like, we're in kind of a break. Let me just piss right now. Yeah, that's great. You've met him at least once, yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Piss. Take it when you need it.
Piss!
Well, anyways, just to keep it going here, I'm Kyle Hughes. If you don't know me, you probably do if you're watching this, because I probably spammed all my friends to make sure I got a couple views. I coach hockey. I do construction. I work for a roofing, stucco, and masonry company. We cut out the stucco, so that's gone. Yeah, a very jack of old trades. As you can see, I'm trying to set up this room. These lights, there's 3 lights there. There's a Coors Light one in the middle, a Pokemon one, and then a little mothership for Joe. But I got my Ravens up top. I got my Hughes Hockey Championship belt, Orioles stuff, picture drawn by some chick of me. My parents, that's the OG family, just me, Brent and Angie. Stanley Cup for the Bruins, all my dad's, swag all over the place. This room before was a workout room, and I had all those jerseys in front of my bike, and for a year I rode the bike 3 days a week just looking at his jersey going, hey fucker, you never made it. So that I was like, I don't know, like who's gonna carry the boats or whatever the hell this stuff is, like that kind of stuff like gets me fired up. But still need to fix it, so it'll look a little different next time. Duds is back, pee-pee free.
I still have a pee-pee.
No, my bathroom has a pee-pee cutter.
That'd be strange. I was wondering what that was in there. You know, I guess a strange device. It's literally just a rusty meat cleaver.
It's like one of those like paper cutters. How did they let
and or a scalpel
at school? They're like, here's a machete and a piece of plastic. Don't die. Like,
I don't think those could. Like, I think they were literally just like a hard edge. Like, I don't think they would cut more than paper. They weren't like razor sharp.
No.
I think it was literally just two like right angles. Like, I think the danger would have more just been like a lever. I think with one of those you would have been way more likely to just break the bone and then like have like a small like or like a whatever cut, but like the impact would be way worse than the cutting. I think that was just like they were like right next to each other. So I think it was literally like scissor blades. I think it was just a giant scissors. Like, because scissor blades aren't sharp, they're just right next to each other, so they just get right through the paper. Like, that makes sense. I think it's just like hard metal, but like you still could have easily fucked something. Like, you still break a finger with that, but I don't think you would like slice.
And broke that off, and someone was fucking with me, and I hacked them. I feel like I could get them, right?
Yeah, but I think like it's because it's a big heavy thing, not because it's gonna like it's like sharp. Like it's like it would just be like getting hit with a metal rod plus also cut a bit. Like you would just have both. Like I don't think it was like a fucking machete or anything.
So do you like Austin? Is this a place you think you would stay, or are you now like missing the rain? Like how?
I'm still not coming through. I definitely don't miss like Seattle, but like.
I hated Vancouver. Yeah. I love it in the summer, but like
it's beautiful.
It's living there. Like when I played juniors, I'm like, oh, I've only come here for the summers, which is like, oh, I'm leaving Texas. Everything's great. Ooh, grandparents. And then you get there in the winter, and you're like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like slushies all over the road. Can't get up hills. Like, I know I had a 2-wheel drive Ford Explorer. Like, the fuck am I doing there with that? But it's so depressing. Did you ever feel that when you were there?
Oh yeah, there's definitely it's dark all the time, seasonal depression type of thing that goes through, and just like it's being rainy all the time kind of sucks. But there's no more beautiful play. Like I was like, we lived like kind of in the middle of the woods, and it's just like there's nowhere aside from literal jungle where it's that green. Like I've been like all over the place. There's no forest like that. Yeah, it's because it's like the trees. You got evergreen trees, and then in between them there's like ferns and shit like coming out everywhere, and then everything's covered with moss and lichen, and so there's just like. Literally a million different shades of green, and it's just like disappearing. Like you can't see that far. Like you can't see sky through the trees for the most part. Like it's. I think it's actually like technically science-wise, it's the only non-tropical rainforest on the planet. Is the Pacific Northwest.
Are you a guy that like stays with the teams there? Like you a Seahawks, Kraken?
Aside from hockey, because I like hockey, like I don't really give a fuck about pro sports. So like I guess I root for them. The Kraken rink?
Yeah,
the climate pledge? Yeah. Save the World's a pretty good guess. But I've been to a couple of games there, and I actually fucking climate pledge. We had our goalie my junior year did the skills competition thing for them. So we got to check it out.
Guys are ripping 6 shots past him.
Oh no! Like he was doing like during the the 3-on-3 thing that they had, and then so when they were doing the trick shots, he was in there. It was kind of cool, but excuse me.
One thing with the trick shots, my dad's assistant coach up in Canada right now. It's my old team, the Ridge Meadow Flames. His assistant coach is Mike Legg, the guy that invented the Michigan.
Oh shit!
The Michigan. He's just a firefighter now. Just coaching a junior team fire. Like what the fuck? Like he has 7 assistant coaches. They're the number 1 team in Canada. They're 35-2. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I've been telling him for years, he works at a tire shop, at a fucking car dealership with my aunts. I'm like...
Start a podcast called the I Invented the Michigan Pod. Like, market yourself. Like, I would wear nothing but shirts if I was that guy that said, I was the guy from the Michigan goal.
And
I would do nothing but that.
So long. No one did it. And then all of a sudden, the last,
because there's a new way to do it, thing now. Because you used to have to, go all the way down under it. But, yeah, there's, a new way to... But still, that was insane when that first fucking happened. Yeah.
I was like, is that legal? Like, the first alley-oop, they're like, what the fuck is that?
And as long as it stays below your shoulders the whole time, you're fine.
Yeah, it's I would, some of the things in sports, the push, all these weird fucking things that just...
So we didn't know we had to worry about it. Or fucking Marty Brodeur playing the puck. We didn't know we had to have rules against how the goalie could play the puck until this guy started doing that shit.
And literally as a goalie, a guy's behind you, whatever, dude. As long as he doesn't tuck it, I'm good. And I
love playing the puck as a goalie, dude. It's my fucking favorite thing to do.
Did you ever fuck up?
All the time, dude. Wait, actually, dude, I'll find you the clip. Dude, there's the sickest clip of one of the, the weekend that I started for UW. There's the fucking most unreal. I want to find it back again. I don't think it's still on YouTube or, the full game or whatever. I have the clip somewhere. So I goes, and I, the puck's, coming down. you know, it was on a power play or something. And I'm like skating out to near the blue line, and I like
far.
No, it was like kind of top of the circles ish, but I was like trying to play it, and I was like trying to make a pass, but it was like wobbling, so I just sent it like some other way, and it would have been offside. So and the dude like goes to slap it into the completely empty net because I misplayed it, and so the guy picked it off. But since it was fluttering, like it was like kind of a slow shot, but I like saw it and I just sprinted back. And so, like, and he had this, like, arcing flutter. If you had taken a full shot, I would have had no chance. But, like, there's me, like, sliding, and I, like, catch it. I recorded an assist because I drop it out of my glove, and then Shippy goes and fucking scores.
The best
yeah, and that was literally, like, literally half my points that whole year were from, like, because I played as a skater, as a fourth liner the entire year. And then I had 4 assists, and 2 of them were from throwing out of my gloves in one of those 2 games. To where it went out and go, or like playing at the puck. But there's the most unreal save of all fucking time as I'm like sprinting back. Wouldn't have counted anyway, it was offsides, but it was like it would have been, but I turned it into a fucking goal. There's also a dope because I flying poke check a lot. Like I flipped a dude over my back. I'll show you my goaltending highlights from my 2 ACHA goalie games that I fucking played. Greatest moment of my life. It's fucking sick.
I'm gonna go rob the piss. You tell them a little bit about yourself and some of
yeah. All right. What do we got here? Yeah, I do some right stuff. I'm a half Russian general. I'll explain that. I feel like I should know because we actually, we're buddies and play hockey together, but we don't like. I don't know how much of my like life backstory that he fucking knows because I don't keep track of like who I say that shit to. But I've done like wacky stuff over the years. Like my parents are big travelers. My mom's a Soviet Russian lady that met not a mail order bride, but just a regular Russian lady, met a regular American dude. Like he majored in like Russian literature and he knew Russian really well, and she was like a interpreter and had a travel agency, so it like kind of worked out. They traveled the world together. They've taken me out. That's why I have this foreign shirt. I'm not just a douchebag that got into meditation. I'm also a douchebag that got into meditation, but like that's not. Like there's more to me than that. Like I got this when I was actually in Nepal, but I am also a douchebag as well. I was just going into. I don't know how much of my actual like life story you know, because like I did some wacky shit. But like you know that I'm like Russian and shit. Like my mom's a Russian lady. Yeah.
But it wasn't positive. Did you go back to the motherland?
Yeah, I've been to Russia twice, or technically 3 times, but I don't count because my mom volunteered at Sochi. She was doing interpreting there. And it's actually because so technically she was never a Russian citizen. So the only way she was able to get a visa to enter Russia was like through the Olympic Committee because she was a Soviet citizen, but she was already here when the Soviet Union collapsed.
Damn.
Like
How's your mom?
She's 6. I'm fucking 45.
Got him again.
But yeah, so so. She had like just moved. They weren't even married yet, but she had like just moved over here to live with my. No, I think they were married already when the union fell apart.
How did they meet?
They met because my dad was like an executive for Alaska Airlines, and she was like a interpreter / travel agent. Okay. And so like he majored in Russian in college, so he spoke like academically perfect Russian, but you know obviously like there's the.
Now back then there was like blind dates. That's how my mom and dad got together, which is so weird. Like
they just met like they were at a lot of the same events because like he was one of like there weren't that many Americans in town. Like people knew like if you were in like they knew of each other professionally. It's like hey this is like one of the handful of like he's definitely stood out because he was an American that spoke perfect Russian, and like there weren't other kinds of like there was really like there was. Just most of the Americans spoke Russian because like what else are you doing in the fucking Soviet Union? But like so he was working for Alaska Airlines and shit, and he loved doing shit. Like he worked for REI, like he literally scouted out routes like for bicycling adventures. Like he would just bike around the Soviet Union and be like, and just for REI because they would eventually do tours there. Yeah. So he would just bike around and be like, well, nothing interesting here, and then send that back to his bosses. And be like, oh, but then I biked this way, and there was some really cool shit. And they were like, all right, well, this is how we're going to build the track. So he has some of the most insane stories, like, ever. Like, that's, I want to, like, emulate that.
Did you ever get into, like, biking?
Shit.
Like, I started a thing called the D1 Bike Club at Arizona State. It was after they told me, I went to my aunt's wedding, and it was during
I didn't get into that, but, like, just, like, the traveling part, definitely, like, fucking love that. But
that's one thing I want to do, because, fuck, man, I haven't gone anywhere. I've been to Canada, went across that shit, been to Mexico a few times, real low-key.
I feel bad bringing it up because it's like it's nothing I did. It's just like, but like growing up, my parents, like once or twice a year, we would go to some wacky place, like non-standard vacations, and they're like
pointed a map.
That's what, yeah, that's part of like, or just something that looked cool. Like that was just their thing. That's how they like dated, and like that's the other thing I say. Like we lived kind of below our means, and then we would spend all our money on travel. So like I've been literally everywhere. Like I got this. Like they took me to Nepal. And like we trekked at like I literally but no, like we were like trekking, like I've taken a piss at like 17,000 feet. That's one of my claims to fame.
I shot a puck into the Grand Canyon.
That's sick.
It's never gonna go away.
Yeah.
I hope the company gets sued that let me have that puck, because fuck you, Prohibitions. But yeah, I hope that's on your receipt list. You fucking losers.
But yeah, so I've been literally to just some crazy fucking places all over the world.
What is your favorite?
Favorite's got to be the Brazil and the Amazon. Like we stayed for a couple days.
How old are you?
I was at this point. I was in high school. I think I was.
God, the Brazilian butts. Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So it was weird. So it was two things. So my mom was volunteering for the Olympics. There, and she like straight up like learned Portuguese.
How is she getting all this Olympic shit?
So she for the first time she volunteered was in Sochi because it just made sense because she already like she was a professional interpreter already. So she was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna go see a bunch of hockey games at the Olympics for free basically because I like already have this skill. So she was doing interpreting for them, but then she realized it's an awesome, fun community to just do and get involved in, and so she so she volunteered in Rio the next Olympics for the Summer Olympics, and she was doing that, and so I went to visit her there, and she also volunteered for the World Championships in like Denmark a couple years later.
When you volunteer, do they put you up or?
Yeah, I think there's different like levels, there's different like ways, like some of them if you're doing something more involved, like they'll put you in one place, but for the most part, like they had their own like volunteer like mini Olympic village, like it was the same style that the athletes have.
Too? Were they giving out condoms in that bitch?
Like I think she was in the like, just married older folks part, but I assumed like in the younger people, like at one of the other events, like I didn't really have a chance in that one to talk to any of the people like around who were like doing stuff. That was a different situation, but like in like Denmark, I went and stayed with the like the crew that were around there. Yeah, they definitely had a kind of some shit like that going on. But yeah, it seems like a cool ass way to travel, like volunteer for events that you just find cool. But
sounds like a photographer's got to have a life, right? Like they can just volunteer, like whatever, sign up for some shit, like, oh, we're going to the fucking waterfalls. Oh, well, yeah, I'll volunteer to take the photos. Like, bro, I would love just have a photographer walk around with us all the time, like us in the parking lot, the little shots of the game, like. It would just be amazing, but I mean, I guess we do on our little fucking devices we have on our phones, but like, I can't be taking pictures all fucking day of my shit.
The actual like thought that goes into that. Like,
I miss so much shit, and I'm like, oh my god, I should have taken a picture of that. I should have taken a picture of that. It's like, fuck. You need one more?
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that koozie from. I assume I went to.
I thought it was ice bats, but no, it's just fucking. It's from ACL.
Oh, you know what? I got that from Buddies.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to my sponsors, Buddies. What is their little saying that's on the outside? It's like,
I don't fucking. I just walk in there and drink beer and play pool. That's all I do. Like I don't.
So we have a place here in Austin that we go to, and it's like in the most gentrified fucking area in the world. But they have a nice little bar there. The beers are $2.50. You walk out after having 4. You go play a men's league game. The night started, right? Like Buddy's place is the shit. If you ever get a chance to go there, this spot ain't never gonna blow up. There's darts, there's pool, there's a live band on Wednesdays. Greatest place in the world. Thank you, Joe, for introducing this whole fucking team to this goddamn place. Because now it's like, I don't know, you can't find that in Austin. You go get a beer anywhere else with $9. Like, the fuck are we doing here? Like,
no, it's dope, and and it's like a small, like it's like I don't know what the building was before it was a bar. It's just like a shop front or whatever they converted, but like it's like it's not that big. It's kind of like. They gotta like be creative with the space and where they put the bar and everything and like the live music and everything. But the fucking lady knows who we are. Like we're the hockey team. Like
she
IDs
like, how me every time.
Yeah. Really?
I don't understand. She's like, I need your ID. I'm like, I'm Kyle.
She recognizes the shit out of me.
Look at my fucking shoes. Like no one wears crazy shoes in here. And she's like, no, sorry, honey, I just have to. I'm like,
okay, and then I go get a beer, and they're like, which Kyle? I'm like, God damn it, we have a Kyle on our team. Like, I fucking hate. We had 5 Kyles while you're gone on the team.
That's absurd.
Kyle Galloway, me, and 3 others. I'm like, dude, we're like,
that's
Kyle,
too many.
pass the puck, and I'm looking. I'm on the bench. I'm like, I don't fucking have the puck.
Yeah, I didn't even like having other Alexes on the team, but I've been to Dudley since I was.
It blew my mind when you said your name was Alex. I'm like, your name's not Alex. You're like, yeah dude.
Been
like,
Dudley since there were 2 Alexes in my second grade class.
And you said you didn't know who Dudley the Dragon was?
No, never heard of it.
That is wild. He's like a dragon that was like had a huge show. I think it was in Canada, so that's probably where I'm fucking this up. He just like lived in the woods. It was kind of like a Shrek.
But Dudley Do-Right was Canadian, and I know who the fuck that is.
Throw it at me again.
Dudley Do-Right, the Canadian Mountie, like you did show with like Rocky and Bullwinkle in that era.
I was like, hold on.
I'm not puny now. Dude, that cartoon was the shit. Just little 5-minute cartoons. Every single one. The femme fatales getting tied to the railroad. There was just the dude, Snidely Whiplash, who had a giant cartoonish mustache, and his favorite thing to do was just tie bitches to railroad tracks. He loved nothing more than just tying bitches to railroad tracks.
I saw a guy on TikTok get that tattoo of his mustache done on his face.
Snidely Whiplash.
I'm like, bro, that's forever. You did a fake curly mustache, and you're fucking. He was like a good-looking guy.
That's
like, bro.
That's ridiculous.
I can't imagine getting a fucking. Oh my god! Like, you know, I got right.
That's just like your thing. The people
like right arm and the ice bats tattoo, like, and then hues across my back. That sucked when they got to the spine. Yeah. I cannot imagine how bad. And then just like you're
it's
saying,
not the pain. It's just every single person that ever talks about you for the rest of your life is gonna be like, hey, do you know, the guy with the mustache tattooed on his face? Yeah, that guy. Like, it's just, there's nothing else that's important about it. Like, when you do something that's just that in your face, like having, like, horns or having, like, something, like, it's just like, oh, is he the guy that, yeah, he's that guy. And it's just like, I want people to care about other shit about me. You know what I mean?
Do you have
like,
tattoos?
I need to get some. I'm too indecisive because every time I get a tattoo, I can't decide quite what to get. And I don't think about it, and then I just don't end up getting it. I want tattoos, though.
I try to go 4 years. So the back tat was at 16 or 7, or just at 18 in Canada. Very expensive because you're paying. And I had to get it done twice. What the fuck? But I went and played a hockey tournament the next weekend in Whistler. Like, what are you doing, dude? You're hitting guys and your fucking tattoos falling off on your back?
Just begging to get infected if you're putting hockey gear on top of that. Yeah.
Ice bats later was, I don't know, 20, 21. So I'm trying to stay with the 4 years. And I got this right arm, which is my girlfriend's handwriting. Just a note she left me. And we used to do it with the kids. So the right arm story is, back in the day, everyone was right-handed. Yeah. So people back in the day would go right arm, like as like a thing of like, you know, fuck yeah, like is this kind of what it means, right? So we would do that with the kids. I've never heard that. Somebody started it, and that's when it started. Right on. Remember that saying back then? Right on, brother. Or like, right on. Yeah. So that came from right arm. Most people are right-armed or right-handed. Yeah. So you flex on your strong arm, whatever. So we started doing it with the kids, and you know, I'm getting 60 kids a week for 12 weeks in the summer at these summer camps in California and shit, and it just spread like wildfire. So then she left me a note that said right arm, and I'm like, fuck yeah, throw it on my arm, and didn't care. But, yeah, like I want another one now, and so I have pterodactyl, my cat, right? So there's a cool pterodactyl tattoo that I've been looking at, and I really want it. I don't know if it's a little over the top. And then my dog just died, Grizzly, about a year ago, coming up on the 2 days. He'll be dead for a year. But like I either want a Bruins tattoo because I love the Boston Bruins, and then Grizzly, kind of a bear as well, and then this pterodactyl tattoo that I found. But I'm also like, dude, you're way above your means here. Like, you're just buying shit you do not need, like no one needs. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Let me see if I can find this for you. So that's the bear one, right? That's Grizz. So, I mean, that's got a lot of details. So maybe they'd suck it up. And then that's another one that I liked from an artist. I met her in Tahoe. She did like the Lake Tahoe Music Festival, does the drawings for it. And that's the pterodactyl one.
Oh, that's real second.
Yeah, so like that's dope as fuck. I would change the colors, maybe do whatever, but also, how much fucking money am I gonna spend? Like, it's just
because like once they like do all the color switching, so that's what really runs up the price on tattoos, right? It's
and
like,
so like the ice bat
500 different colors,
like for the like 3 different colors, and like this is the Texas flag. That's supposed to be white. There's a star of Texas there. And it's like, they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be extra because of the 3 colors. I'm like, dude, you did 2 little gloves in blue and red. Like, shut the fuck up.
I assume it's probably something about, like, if you have to, like, keep switching back and forth, because I assume you got to, like, switch out the head of the thing or whatever, like, switch out the ink. So I would think it would be more of, like, a time-related thing than, like, actually like charge it by. It's not like red ink is that much more expensive than fucking blue ink or whatever. But
well,
like
on the back too, they did a jet black or like the darkest supposed tattoo ink at the time, and they're like, well, that's gonna be an extra.
This is the fancy extra black.
So what I did was, sorry, Dad, but he would send money to my grandma for gas and whatever food. Mm-hmm. I was living with her when I played in the BCHL, so I would take the leftover from gas. So they give me $60. I got 20 left, or I just cut it at 40.
Yeah,
and then just keep doing that. So $20 a time. You know, you fill up every other day, adds up, and it was $800 fucking tattoo. It's big, but like I got it redone for $80 in Michigan.
Oh, sick.
I mean, they didn't have to do the whole thing, fill in the
touch
spot.
up all the, yeah.
But like that's just, and they let me bring my dog in. Like I just got a puppy from like Walmart, and they're like, "Yeah, just bring it in." I'm like, "Bro, there's a blood-brain barrier here. Like if you fucking get something on that,
like I feel like it's that's one thing. Like when I do get a tattoo, I'm gonna go into like a highly rated place. I'm not gonna go like, oh, here's a tattoo for half the price, but you also have hepatitis. Like I don't need that shit. Like that's just. Is gross. But yeah, I have a couple ideas for what I'm gonna get, but just every time it's just like you gotta think about it, and then I just don't end up doing it because like shit just takes over. But like I want to get the Russian phrase, I have two ideas, but like I want to get the Russian phrase "поехали." That's been bouncing around my head like forever because that's it just means let's go basically, but there's like a lot more context to it. Like that's
fire up, let's go, like Tom Brady coming out of the Super Bowl, let's go.
No, but like just like legitimately let's go, but there's like a context to it, like kind of like that's what Gagarin said when he went to space for the first time. Like for the first time, like for humanity, not just for him. Also for him, he didn't go again though. But like so it was like "поехали" was a big thing, and it was just like a lot more cultural context to it than that. But and also like my family around the house, like when we were going and getting the family together, they would say like "let's go" in like 3 languages every time. They'd be like "поехали, on y va, ikimosho," which is just "let's go" in 3 different languages. So I want to get that same word or phrase tattooed, but like I want it like going down my leg or down my back, and it's every country I've visited. I do it in that like in Nepali it was jam jam, and I was like I kind of want to get a jam, and I was like oh I could do them like and have it each time I go to a place they get that language's version of like adventurous let's go type of shit like tattooed on it, and so it'd say like "поехали, on y va, ikimosho," jam jam, and then it would go down, but they would all be in the native language and shit, and I would like get them added as I go. But
do you know any tattoo guys or like maybe
no, not a fucking clue.
Yes, that's where like I have friends. I'm like, oh, I want a tattoo. Like, oh, I got a guy. He's the best.
But that's the thing. Like, I have friends that like have tattoos that like I can find a guy. Like, I definitely can find somebody. Like, I know how to get one. It's like with drugs. Like, I don't know anybody who fucking sells coke. Like, but I know how I would go about finding some. Like, I know who to ask who sells coke. And like I'd be able to like I could get you coke within a week. Like if you give me like I couldn't like get you coke tonight, but I could get you coke within a week or two, like easily. Like it just like knowing like different kinds of folks. You know what I mean? Like
that's one of the scarier things in Austin. Like this town is fueled by coke. I thought Vegas, and yes it is. But like here, it's just everyone. I feel like I've run into.
So I kind of want to run by some stuff because I have some like material around coke that I want to like think about. Because one funny like just ADHD, the way that amphetamines hit you is like different. Like so I realized like because I was like I didn't like coke because I've tried coke a couple times and like it just kind of sucks. And I realized like oh no, it's like my brain's physically doing something different to me. Like it's a different thing that's happening in my brain versus like other people. So I was like oh now I get like why other people like it. But otherwise I was like. Because my brain's like already doing that. Like cocaine is kind of like temporary fun ADHD a lot of the time. Like it gives you just the fun side of ADHD because like it's I think like chemically it's pretty similar to like it's just the problem with ADHD is that it regulates your dopamine and shit, and then it gives you the coke gives you
my
like
girl she's on Adderall. And
yeah, I take Adderall. Yeah.
So that's like and she had some crazy shit. It was almost like meth. I'm like yo like grinding your teeth at night, crazy dreams, shaking. I'm like, let's get off that, fix that problem. But I definitely think people with ADHD do not need stimulants like that. Like,
but that's like they do different things. Like the joke that I have is about that where it gets to the material is like because cocaine would it made other people like hyperactive and like talking and shit. But I just like doing that a lot of the time anyway. So when I did coke, it just made me able to focus on other people's dumb coke ideas. So, like, it just made me, like, focus up a little bit. And that's kind of what made me realize I needed to get an Adderall prescription. Because, like, I'm doing coke, and everybody's acting all crazy. And I'm like, wait, this is the only time I've been able to sit still, like, in the longest time. And I do coke. Like, and I'm sitting there, like, at a party. And I'm like, wait, I should I should probably go get an Adderall prescription, because like everybody else wagging all crazy, and I'm just like can finally focus for the first time in my fucking life, and it was like, yeah, it was a big moment, but.
I get scared. I mean, like they show all those stupid posters around Austin, whatever, like fentanyl kills. Ask my mom. It's like a 19-year-old in the fucking billboard, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
I got a pack of fentanyl tests. Like I have some in my house, just like because like I'm not in the world of drugs much, but if I ever like am around it, like I've never said like no to drugs like in my life. Like if somebody's offering me drugs, like yeah, don't do that. Like I'm just lucky I've been like around people that like that doesn't. I've only done a handful of drugs a handful of times, but like like I'd always say, like, yeah, if I was in a sketchy situation, I'd be, like, safe about it. But, like, I realized, like, I should probably have some just around. And also just, like, I give them out to people. Like, if people mention they're by drug, like, do you, like, test them? Like, no, like, here, take 5 or 6. I never use them. But, like...
When I get offered, I just, like, freak out. Like, they're like... And I just throw it at them. Like, do you test it? I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
But, like, they're like, hey, you want something you want to bump? Hey, the skis are nice tonight. The fucking slopes are good. I'm like, okay. And then they offer it to me, and I'm like, no. Do you test it? It's always my first question. And they always say no. And I'm like, then why the fuck would I take that? Like, you just saw me do it, you fucking faggot. It's like, whoa. Like,
all right, buddy.
Chill. Like, so I don't. And I guess they're on the stimulant. They're free. But like, you're trying to give me free drugs. Like I said, no. Just keep it for yourself and do it. Like,
I mean, dude, it's kind of like with fucking. Like it's like with STD. It's like kind of similar. Like it's just like, hey, there's some things like it's like like I don't go like in jail. Like it's not like I'm a big purist. Like it gotta be, but like. You never know, like, when it's going to be, like, have some shit into it. Like, you don't want to just be, like, going around, like, you can just be like, yeah, I'm just having fun for the weekend, and now you have AIDS, or now you took fentanyl, and it's just like, oh, fuck, I was just trying to have a good time. No, you gotta test.
And it's just so easy to get them. Like, even here in Austin is technically illegal, but if you go to Planet K, you can ask them for a fentanyl test. They'll give it to you.
Oh, it's illegal to have tests? Like, or to...
So say you just had the test and it's in your back pocket. You don't know how the night's going to go. If you get pulled over, that's technically paraphernalia is what they call it. Because Texas has banned that because they don't want you testing your drugs. They don't want
they just don't want you doing drugs.
Yeah, so they're like, no, we don't need tests because these motherfuckers shouldn't be doing drugs. But you can go to Planet K, pick up, I think the most is like 3 or 5 if you have friends. But like you can go there and ask them, but they're like, do not tell them where you got this from. Because like a lot of people have driven off, get pulled over, smoking, whatever it is, and then they fucking, where are these from? Oh, I got to Planet K. And then they go raid the fucking place. Or not raid it,
for tests. Like there's people doing actual dangerous shit. And you're like, people who like already are like, because that's the thing. Like it's like people are going to do drugs or not do drugs. Like you make the testing like available. Same thing with like making like cheap or like free needle like clean needles, like that's a huge public health thing, and it's just like, hey, I'm not saying that you should be injecting drugs into your veins. You really shouldn't be, but like a lot of people are gonna do that regardless of what the fuck the government says, and I'd rather there not also be AIDS, like. Because fucking being addicted to heroin is already enough problems, but now you also got AIDS. Fuck that, dude. That sucks. Like just.
That's crazy. Like you'll go buy a tent in Austin. You're like, oh, one guy lives there. No, there's 6 people and they're all sharing a needle, fucking putting black tar heroin in their butt. It's like that's just insane. But if and I don't think you make it legal for tests or whatever the fuck, or you have safe injection sites. I don't know if the numbers go down or up.
They go down. They definitely do.
Like Vancouver, that was why they did it on East Hastings. It's like, hey, there's people just dying all over the place. How would we just fucking put them in a place? And the same thing with like shelters there. It's like, hey. Are you high? They look at you like, all right, you can come in. There's only so many beds, and the rest of them just go back out inside and sleep, and people are getting stolen.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be funny because like you gotta like judge people. Like if somebody shows up, they're like, oh, this guy's like a public menace. We gotta bring him in here. And you gotta go and like, all right, find the least high person in this clique, like, and kick them out on the fucking street because we only the people that are really fucked up get the beds. Like, yeah, you were only kind of fucked up. You just came in here when there were beds open. Like, you get the fuck out of here. Your drug problem isn't bad enough. You gotta get the fuck back on the street. Like, there's a guy here who's real fucked up. Got schizophrenia too, so
it's that's the one reason I think I did that 7-day fast was like that it drops down your schizophrenia, your Alzheimer's, your cancer risk by whatever percentage. Give me a number, who cares? If it's 1%, I'm cool with that.
Even the number that's like official, that's like they're they hodgepodge a shitload of statistics and studies and stuff. Like even that, like it's not like it's an exact, like it's not like it. Like there's like a formula to where that's how much, like that's like their best guess. It gives around this much, like it's just good for you. Like it's not like it actually like when you do the thing that they did in the study, it's gonna be the exact same number of percentage or like years or whatever that they say. But
so when I was in high school here, I came back from playing Canada or whatever, and I had to find odd jobs for the summer, right? So I find not a job, but it's a weekend study at UT for their medical staff or whatever, and it's Philip and Morris's chewing tobacco study.
Oh shit!
So I go in. That's when Camel Snuffs just came out. You know the one.
Oh yeah, that's how you have the hookup for like crazy like foreign chewing tobacco or whatever the fuck that you have.
I have a whole drawer. Anyways,
it's like the one dude who has Cuban cigars.
Yeah, like these are Cuban. Like no, dude, these are from Germany. But yeah, so I go do this chew study, and they're like, here, here's Camel Snuffs. We're going to give you 10 tins. You have 3 days here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to film you the whole time, monitor on you, just like the Whoop strap.
Yeah.
We're going to make you do physical tests, whatever. We're going to let you play video games. We're going to do it while you're not on, you're not chewing tobacco or nicotine, and then when you play with it in your mouth, and we're going to test like this.
Speaking of which, do you have anything? Because I'm kind of just talking about this makes me want
so yeah, those are sixes from Sweden. They're called Scruffs. They are so good. It's like a salt packet, realistically.
Cool. I might fucking get it. I might gag a little bit because I just realized I haven't eaten fucking shit today, and sometimes
just
it fucks
spit it
with
out,
me.
man. Just make sure you spit it.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Because even when they're not like spit, like I'll.
So like,
no, I just use an empty can. That I have. I just remember which can I fucking.
But that's the thing. Like when I went to do this test, they're like, you need to swallow it. I'm like, no, because like I was used to regular tobacco. I love Grizzly. My first dog's name was Grizzly. So like I'm naming my fucking dogs after Chew, and then my cats after flying menaces in the sky. But yeah, so
you know, pterodactyls were actually tiny. Like they were the size of like sparrows.
Really?
Like they were like, I don't know how big they exactly were, but it was less than a foot. They were less than a foot long, like wingspan. Like,
so it'd be her size.
Yeah, no, like literally, like I think even small. Like I think they were small as fuck. But their name sounds cooler because there were big giant flying dinosaurs that were huge.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't a pterodactyl. Just pterodactyl is like easier to say and sounds cooler than like it was like a Quetzalcoatlus or like pterodon or something like it.
Kind of like raptors, right? They said raptors were kind of like
raptors, just the overarching category.
Almost like they're like smaller, like some of them. Like
velociraptor, yeah. Because raptors like a category of species, like hawks are raptors. Like it's a kind of bird.
What? That's wild.
Like well, but that's the thing because dinosaurs and birds are crazy related. I was almost a like evolutionary biology major. I kind of know like a shitload about this kind of stuff, but like shitload compared to a regular person, not like an actual shitload. Like, but I could have ended up being like a bio expert. I was like this close. Like I ended up being like fucking around more. But
my sister's a biochemical engineer.
Yeah, I could have. I was in those.
I think you should get
classes.
Drugs
People,
that
like,
I want. I think that's.
Like I'm waiting for like one of the people that I helped with their fucking science homework to end up like being like a big shot scientist so that they can be like, well, here we have the biochem experts. Like I fucking helped that person pass physics 101 because they couldn't figure out this fucking thing and I taught it to them. Like I want to go into science education. Like I'm never going to be a scientist, but like I feel like I'm better at talking about science than because like I have talking and like some scientific knowledge, and I realize like I want to do something for science, but I'm never going to be a scientist, like pick a specific ass thing and study the shit out of that, but I can talk about it and teach people about it. Like,
so that was one of the biggest piss-offs to me, right? Like, oh, I got the connection with the person. Austin Matthews came and did my camp in Scottsdale when he was 14.
Oh, shit.
And so his mom pulled him off the ice on Tuesday morning and was like, this is bullshit. This is supposed to be a AAA camp. I'm like, there's no such thing as a AAA camp. We just take whoever wants to fucking sign up.
And so, I'm sorry, like, there's no camp for how good your son is.
Yeah, he's
like, there's
my
just
size
like
at 14. And it's like, dude. So, like, the coaches had to go against him. Say it's a hitting drill, whatever. We're not wearing anything. He fucking rocks me. I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like, but I'm like, good. Like, that should be the way this game is played.
It's like, yeah, when you're at that level, that's when you should. Like, we're making fun of dudes, like, in our men's league that are doing that. But, no, if you're really that good and you're fucking 13 years old and you can fucking do that to a grown man, like, yes, you should have that mentality 24/7 because you might end up making $10 million a year fucking being a sniper in the NHL. Like, that's the... Like,
so his mom came out and just gets to the corner of the bench and we break the rink up into 5 quadrants.
You can
right?
drink while you got Zin, right?
Oh yeah. So yeah, we fucking mark it all off. I'm on the corner that's next to the players' bench. So she comes up right to the edge and I'm like a foot from her. She's like, "You motherfucker, you lied." I'm like, "I'm not the camp director. I'm just a fucking guy pushing."
I'm just the closest guy to you that is wearing the logo
like,
of the fucking camp.
Austin. Like she's saying it weird. I'm like, is that?
Oh, it's because she's the like the
Hispanic.
Mexican or
so he's
whatever.
the first
I don't know
Mexican American
Honduran or
player to be
something.
drafted number 1. So she's like, Austin.
Yeah, so his mom was like straight up, like,
like, fuck this bitch. So she took his ass off Tuesday, right? Like, right away. She got a full refund. Like, totally fine. Like, totally makes sense. But now I'm like, I taught him that. No, he didn't do shit. He was there for a day and a half. Like,
hey, if you're intense enough about your son to make a scene and flip out at people and get rid, like, you should have brought that intensity to just doing the research in the first place. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like people think that, like, just being passionate and intense in the moment is like, no. If you really care as much as you are seeming like you do right now, you would do it in the moments when it's not emotionally a big thing. Like, you would really, like, you know, you just kind of space it out. Yeah.
Anything, right? Like, I never even looked up Buddies, but that was like a nice little sneaky surprise. Like, oh,
yeah. But if it's the thing that you care about the most, like, if you're, hey, my son is a potential NHLer, I could potentially, like, this is the difference of me being in a community nursing home versus fucking on the French Riviera when I'm 75. You know, like, it's because, dude, think about it, like. Dude, like, you don't really, like, as, you know, you're just, like, a regular mom doing your shit, but, like, if you find out that, like, your kid's good at something, like, dude, like, you doing good parenting is the difference between you just, like, growing up in a weird situation, like, and just growing old like everybody else, and, like, because now she's set for life because of what she, like, if she had made some slightly different decisions, she's just another regular, everyday old lady. But now, when she retires, she's going to be in the greatest, she's going to fucking die in a resort.
And that's what I think about my mom. Like, sorry, Mom, to bring this up, but she dated an asshole, and then she dated my dad. They're one and the same. But then, like, my dad was a total dick.
One and the same is in the same personality, or is in the exact same person?
Just dicks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't know that. Yeah, what you're
just dick time. Like, so, like, the second guy is now an NHL player, not an all-star fourth liner making some money. But when you go from, like, just that, and then now she's married to a home builder, like, that comfy life is there. Like, same thing. They have bought a house in Destin, Florida. Sick as fuck. Like, you have to make these conscious decisions to better yourself in life. And maybe she didn't know he'd make it, but she's a good mom.
And obviously, like, every mom does the thing. They want their son to be the best at whatever it is. It's just, like, there's, like, when you get to that, like, kind of thing, when you're making, like, that much type of money, then, like, you can kind of look back and, like, not that every other mom wasn't trying to get the best for their kid. It just happens, like, the best for her kid is fucking $20 million a year. Like,
fucking forget about their kids. Like, oh, I have a job, I have a career, and then just I'll go to the thing, and I'll see you when I get back, and get the kid for 2 hours, and it's like.
People having kids just like a side thing pisses me the fuck off. Like, oh, I might as well have kids, or like I accidentally had kids. Like,
accidentally.
That's what I mean. We could get into the, like, I don't want to bring this into the, like, the abortion thing or, like, the political things, but, like, I really they did, like, do it because I think my parents had kids, like, late. Like, they were already, like, older professionals. They had their whole life fucking figured out. They've done the young people crazy shit. Like, you don't want to be young and have a kid. Like, that's fucked up. Like, I'm not gonna have kids until, like, I don't have, like, an exact year, but, like, you know, around 30, yeah, like, past 30, like, that's just a rule of thumb, but, like, basically, like, have done all this shit, because you don't want your kid to be, like, holding you back, and you want to do a good job. You want to be a person of the world. My parents had so many experiences, made the mistakes that they can teach me about. Like, you want to still be growing up and raising a person. That's fucking ridiculous. Like,
and that's what I feel like. So the other day, my brother-in-law, he's like, you know,
you have him fucking, like, lined up on you. Just do this.
Should I even put this on? It's doing line. But, like, my brother-in-law Drew, he's like, hey man, like, why do you call your mom Angie? I just had said it in passing in a text, and I'm like, that's her name. He's like, yeah, I fucking know it's her name, dude.
Yeah.
But, like, why do you call her that? I'm like, and to get, like, into that weird phase, right? We grew up together. She was 17 or 18 when she had me.
Shit, I didn't know that.
So we grew up together. So it's not the same relationship someone like you, say, has an older mom.
Yeah.
Yes, that's your mom. Yes, that's whatever.
Yeah, she had me when she was, like, late 30s.
Yeah,
like,
so
all right,
double,
you know, like,
triple the age almost. Like, it's a whole different thing. And I say that to her all the time. Like, when we do talk or send her a meme or whatever the fuck it is, like, we grew up together. So I feel like we're just friends. Like, I would call you Dudley. I call her Angie. Like, I don't think that that's a bad thing. But he's kind of, like, roasting me on it. And I'm like...
It's like the opposite of, like, have you ever met people that call their dad, like, Mr. Like, you ever met those? But, like, I've heard that's the thing. Like, some people,
Mr.
like...
Hughes, that was what they call my dad, or no?
No, like, there's some people... I think it's mostly, like, military families and stuff. But, like, they'll literally call their dad, like, so, yeah, sir is a big thing too, or Mr. Like, yeah, you know, like... But it's the other side of that, the casual side of that. Because, like... As far as you can go to good, like, formality versus, I don't know, it's all spectrum, whatever.
But yeah, like, that's like I don't like getting called out, so that's probably why I got defensive on it. But like, dude, everything I do in my life is for a reason. I would call her mom forever, but when I got to a certain age, it's like, Angie, like we're peers. Yeah. We're not like. You're not going to come fix my boo-boos anymore.
It's kind of a weird thing.
That's the mom phase. Yeah. Now I'm independent. Like, I left at 16, so I can take care of myself now. I'm not asking for money. It's like, you're Angie.
Here's the weird thing, because I actually work for my mom now. Like, I got a job at her fucking company. She started a tax. Also, shout out to, she did another cool thing. So she, instead of like getting a better paying job, like just working as an accountant for some firm or for the IRS or whatever, she started her own business so that she could make her own hours and like raise kids. It's because she was at home all the time.
Is it a CPA? Or no.
Well, she has like that certification. She has a certain certification, but like
that's on the sign. Like,
no, she's like a certified account, like whatever the one is above that. Like I think certified tax preparer, accountant, or whatever. She has a couple certifications. She was this close. It was actually like it sucks. So Trump fucked her over, not like by doing anything that specific, but like by totally changing the code. Because so she was this close to a PhD. So she was like kind of casually getting a PhD. Like she did it over the course instead of like taking the class as like a full-time student. She did it like she took like one class at a time and was like over the course of a decade getting her PhD.
Oh, shit.
Like basically, and like doing like online classes and like learning all this stuff. And so she was almost to getting a PhD.
She's still working at that time too, I assume?
Yeah. She this whole time she's got her business or she started it. Like she's just because she's all like when you're doing something like tax or medicine or anything like this, like something that's changing continuously, you have to always be a student, at least partially. And so while you're always learning about stuff, you might as well also be building credits to get like a degree. But like, so she was really close. She was really trying to get her PhD. She was getting close to it. And like, she knew as much as like people with tax PhDs do, but it's just like, you got to do, jump through the hoops. And then Trump changes the entire tax code and it just like makes a bunch of her work worthless. So she would have had to like restart and go back and like do it full time. And it was just like, damn it, man. She was Trump. That close. I'm that close to having a doctor mom. Like fucking would have been sick, dude. Yeah, not even about anything specific that he did wrong or right. It's just like it changed it a bunch, and it was just like, damn, that sucks. Like,
so what you talk a lot about your mom. What does your dad do?
So my dad, like, he got fucked over by Putin invading Russia. So he, but my parents are super important. I'm super close to my whole family. Like we have a good family life. But
Tony Hinchcliffe always asks like, "Hey, your parents divorced?" He usually does it with people that are really funny. Their parents are divorced, but like my parents are divorced. I don't think I'm that funny. It's okay. But
you're definitely not a one. Like what 30-40% of people have the parents that divorced and stuff. I was thinking, it's when did they get divorced? Like, did they get divorced? Like at what time in your life? And in their life 18, were they getting divorced?
Like 17, 18. So
there's different kinds of divorces. There's like got caught cheating and like everybody hates each other. And there's, hey, we grew apart. Let's find a way to separate in such a way. Like,
It's like, I don't know if there's any cheating, but you better not be fucking cheating, boy.
I was just using cheating as like as an example, like make it like sudden and like angry. So like as opposed to like, hey, we don't want to be with each other anymore, but we got to be reasonable and like work together as to how we're gonna. So like one of my closest friends growing up, like her parents did that kind of separate, and it was like it was funny. So she was telling me about it because they got divorced or separated when she was like, I forget what exactly, but it was between 17 and 19 or 16 and 19 around that time. And they did all this research and they came up to her, and she was a single child too, and only child. I don't know what single would have.
That kid ain't fucking. That kid's single.
Yeah. I was fucking her. But I think that might be why her dad didn't like me, because I was like, why doesn't her dad like me? It's like, oh, because he could tell that I was trying to fuck his daughter, and then later I was fucking his daughter, and that's why he was like, he had a weird vibe.
What are your intentions with my daughter?
He's like, why doesn't he like? He's like, oh yeah, because I'm trying to fuck his daughter. That's it's like he could tell, like, because he was a fucking grown man. But I did fuck your daughter. I'm not gonna say names, but I 100%.
You did.
John, like, that's great. He has a very generic name. It could have been anybody, but John, I fucked your daughter, dude. No way he watches this. He's one of those guys that's like low-key, like a lot like his dad and my dad, or not his dad, her dad, but like, and my dad were like good friends, and like, because they were really similar, like way smarter than what they were doing. Like they ended up doing some shit like to do it, but like they were like crazy smart on the side. But he also was, I don't know. That's not the fucking point. Oh, the divorce. That's what we were talking about. So they did a bunch of research. So they did like they had a super amicable split up. They realized like, hey, why are we together? Like, let's.
It's so hard, right? Like, say my mom, and my dad.
But your life is so tangled together already, and it's just like
20, she's 18. Like, dude, like when you get to 50,
start dating at 50. What is that like, dude?
Oh, so one of the kids the other day, I don't know why this even popped up on the bench. I'm just being the buddy, right? And like the kids are on the bench, we're doing like breakouts or power plays and shit. And so he's just on the bench. And I'm like, oh man, like, you know, whatever. And he's like, do you know my parents have been together since they were 12? And I'm like, bro, what?
That's upsetting.
Yeah. And I was like, they're the happiest. That's so weird. Like, I would think they'd be, you know, fucking going at it. Like, maybe back in the scenes that I don't see.
I was like, yeah, I don't think people are made for each other, but some people, it's as if they were. Like, I don't think that there's, like, an actual, like, there's an object, like, there's always one person out there, like, there's one, like, lady out there that's living her life right now that I'm eventually going to find, and we're, like, magically intertwined our souls or whatever, but, like, some people, it's as if they were, and, like, you just find it, like, why the fuck else look for somebody else? Like, some people are like that, it's crazy, and I think my parents, like, they just met when they were in their late 20s, and so it was, like, different, you know, but, yeah, and, but let me wrap up the fucking daughter fucking part, but, yeah, so, like, they were really worried about how do we tell our daughter. I already made it, like, a weird thing, so now I can't go the name, but, like, it was, like, how do we tell her? And then it was, like when they did all this research. They like set it down like as if like we're telling her that like whatever that like we just lost all the money or whatever. And it was like that level of shit.
Let me tell you which
and
one.
she was just like cool with it. And she said that like when they told her, she was like everything came rushing back. She's like, I feel like I should be upset, but what I realized was like, wait, why were you guys together in the first place? You don't seem like you do that well. Yeah, and it wasn't like they hated each other. They just shouldn't have been together, and like when they were whatever age they were when they met, it made sense, and it did for a number of years, and they would just weren't compatible. That's why I think divorce should be as easy as fuck. I think marriage should be like, I don't know about the exact numbers, like I'm throwing a number out here, but I think it should be a 5-year contract that you renew every 5 years, and it's the easiest way out.
Cause you're a good player, but I don't know, man. Like I'll give you a 3-year.
Yeah, because
just to see. Oh, year one he broke his arm. Fuck, I don't know how this other. We gotta cut the contract. That's what I love about the NHL. Yeah. You get to keep your fucking money. NBA, these guys are just fucking all over the place, like signing.
Like the whole college thing about it is too, because like the guys that are like, hey. You get this that like, but like you don't actually get money. It's like college and the opportunity to then get signed. Like you have it, but like as soon as you get injured, you've still dedicated all of your life that you could otherwise be learning other skill. Like I feel like at college, like let's say you get like you're potentially like a guy, not like a dude that's gonna be like drafted high or anything, but like you're a guy that like at 17, 18, you're like, hey, you could make the pros. Yeah. You know, and so you end up dedicating your whole life to do that, and then you go to a college, and then let's say like either it doesn't work out, or just like you like junior year you tear your fucking ACL, like get a horrible injury. It's just like I feel like they were making a lot of money off of you putting all of your effort into being amazing at this sport, and then like they kind of always because you weren't learning other. That's the time in your life when you should be learning other skills. Like you should get like every like college like it should be like kind of like almost like a retirement pro. Like I don't think they should be getting like necessarily like in the moment like it paid like a professional, but like it should go into like a fund because like hey, you're like by deciding to be an elite athlete, you're deciding not to be a lawyer or to like get a certifications or an electrician or whatever the fuck you could have been doing with that time while other people were building skills, and then like one injury you're fucked. So yeah, that's not how it works. Like you can't like it's not like you could be. I was close to getting my electrician certification, and then like I blew out my fucking knee, and so now I can't be like now I'm just completely fucked, and all that time was wasted. That like you should have like a fund like or some shit because like that's the worst possible thing. Like at like 20 years old, you just get everything fucking taken from you. And
like to throw this to the wall for my dad, right? Played enough games in the NHL, get a pension. Mm-hmm. My mom gets half of that. I don't know if that's still to this day, I assume, because he's getting paid out until he's 65, he's 55, so you get 10 years of payments. Yeah. So I don't know if that's, but like, she never touched the ice. Sorry, Mom, but like, you never touched the ice. But you had fucking 4 kids. Like, so I pumped out your sperm, so like, I should be deserving of something.
Yeah, and I think I don't know about the exact numbers if it should be exactly half or like how it should be paid out. Like I don't know the exact things, but like the thing is like she probably was like, yeah, I'll deal with the kids while you do this thing. And it's like, I could have been out there like making my own money, but I'm taking on extra responsibility so you could be going out on the road. Yeah, you do deserve some of that money because, you know, you're taking on these roles. And
you got to deal with a psycho at home that just beats up people as a can you imagine a UFC's wife? Like, please don't kill me. Just every day.
That's why I fucking, wonder about some of those, but like, geez. Or dude, just about like women as a whole, because the vast majority of like women, like, you know, they just know every day the person you're with could just, like, if they're a psycho, could just beat the shit out of you. Like,
and
that's
statistically, that's the one that will get you, is the guy you're with. It's not going to be some dude in the hallway or, like, down a dirty alley. Like, it's going to be the guy
and,
he knows everything about you. He fucking hates your quirks.
You fucking never know. Like, I got my own demons. I don't have beat the shit out of a lady demons. I have a different kind of demons, but like
he has no beat the fuck out of girls.
But also, hey, fucking, you never know until, like, I don't know, fucking maybe my life really goes, like, maybe I do have that, like, so, but what I mean is, like, I don't let people know about the shit that, like, bothers me deep down. Like, so, like, you can be in a relationship with a person, they don't even know themselves that they have that in them, and then you end up in, like, oh, now I'm getting the shit beaten out of me because, like, they had some fucking, they were, like, whatever, molested as a kid or had a dirty, like, a bad childhood, and then, like, then when some shit happens in life, like, I'm just on the receiving end of that shit. Like, that's fucked.
Yeah, like, that's gotta be in the back there. Like, I've had multiple girls that worked at bars or something I'm dating, like, can you walk me to my car? I'm like, why? Because I'm finishing my beer, like, go to your car, like, I'll see you at home or whatever, and it's like, oh, no, you have to worry about this.
It only because it only takes one. Like, I'll get something like offended, like, if a girl's, like, scared, but, like, if, like, I'll realize that, like, I'll just be walking down, like, the street when it's dark, and, like, it's, like, me and just a random lady are, like, walking on the street, and I, like, walk fast, and I just, I see her getting scared, and I'm like, I feel bad, but, like, I can't just, like, shout out, just, like, no, don't worry, not a rapist.
I'm a good guy.
You're safe. Like, I'm just walking fast to walk fast. Like, because I got big legs, I like walking fast. Like, I'm not trying to chase you down and fuck you or anything. But you can't shout to a lady that's 30 feet ahead of you that just keeps looking over her shoulder, like, don't worry, not a rapist. Like,
I feel like that leaving shows, because I'm mostly by myself when I go, and I think that's fine. Like, all the time I get tickets or, like, free tickets, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you're in a place with a bunch of people vibing. Why would you need someone to be there with you? You're not talking to them. Like, it's a movie. You don't get to fucking have side chats, and I do. But, like, that freaks me out when I leave. I'm like,
Chappelle has a bit that described that to me, like, so, like, it just made it all, like, make sense, like, why women are so paranoid all the time. So it's like it weirded me out. And, like, first of all, how the fuck, like, I've had, like, women just come home with me, like, how the fuck, you're just gonna come home with me? Like, you know, like there's just, like, every time, like to me, it's just like, hey, yeah, it's a fun thing. Like, but I still do have the anxiety, like, am I gonna wake up with one kid, like, in a bathtub full of ice with a scar? Like, I still think about that. Like, she might, like, fucking drug me or some shit. But, like, every single time, like, you're coming home with me, like, hey, I might be a fucking monster. You don't fucking know. Like, I might have just been holding it together to the night. Like, you never fucking know. Like, how do you do that? But fuck with this. I was starting another. I had, like, a couple topics that I could, like, hopped up on either, and any one of those. Fuck, what were you just saying? Like, the last thing you said, fuck.
I said for me, I'm, like, going to concerts, leaving by myself, and going, I could be jumped right now. Like, and that's a big thing.
Oh, yeah, just being, like, because, like, I always know I could beat the shit out of the women. Like, they can't, like, physically, but they always know that they can always be, like, physically overpowered. Like, just, the Chappelle thing. Yeah. So he was talking about, like, when he got paid, like, I forget what it was, like 5-10 grand cash, like, but he got all of his money for, like, all the shows for, like, 2 weekends, like, and he had it in it with him in a backpack, and he was like, oh shit, I got $5 grand in this backpack, and, like, and he, like, the way he walked is, like, different. Like, he was like, Jesus Christ, I know I have $5 grand in my backpack. Like, if any of these people knew that I had this money in my backpack, they would jump me, and I just, like, not let. But, like, as a woman, you always have 10 grand in your back pocket. Yeah. Like, and there's always, like, you never know when it's going to, because, like, 99.99% of men are, not really, they're not going to, like, but you never know which one, because, like, you don't know which one's a monster. Like, doesn't matter if he's wearing a suit, doesn't matter if he's homeless, like, 99% of the, dirty homeless guys won't rape you, 99% of the fucking businessmen in suits won't rape you, but fucking, you just never know. So, like, they always have 10 grand in their fucking back pocket, and it's just like, that's a crazy way to go about living your life.
It's like constant fear. It's like, that's just fucking so much for everybody. And, like, constant fear for me is like, oh man, I'm in this hockey game, I don't wear the net garter or anything, right? Fuck, skate could come up. I don't know. Fucking things happen. It's been too consistent lately. Like, so I don't know. Like, but I wear the wrist guards. So it's like, I think that's more of an opportunity to get me. Like,
I got two stories. Which one do you want to hear for? Like, because I think we should get to both because like they're fucking funny. But like, so I hooked up with a lady that was at one point a sex worker. Wasn't when we were like doing it like actively, but she was like open about it. Well, no, the point is I didn't have to pay, but at some point, but like she at some point, done that professionally, but she was doing it for the love of the game with me. And then
freebie,
yeah. And then the other story option is fuck. Goddamn, I guess that's the story option we're going with. We're going with the dumb hooked up with a sex worker lady, but this is kind of a PSA actually, like for the ladies in there. So she would do like house calls. So she was like an illegal prostitute, and so she would like
all
people
cash.
would.
Like under the table.
I mean, yeah, I think it's got to be early. I'm sure she took Venmo. I didn't get like the specifics of that stuff, but like,
my gram.
So she would. The way I've been to is like I don't know. I guess do house calls. Is that what the way they put it? But like, yeah. So she would go.
Would she say like she's a masseuse or like they?
I didn't get. Like, I don't know about that specifically. I think she just like. Kind of the same way, like, when you, like, just know a guy who sells weed and, like, you hear about it or, like, you get a phone number, you're like, hey, like, you ask your buddy, like, yeah, you know anybody who sells weed? Like, yeah, this guy, like, he's just a guy that smokes a lot of weed and he does it so much that he's in it so, like, that, like, he will sell weed and he just knows everybody. And I think she was kind of like that, but for sex. Okay. She just, like, liked sucking dick a lot, and she was just like
did she ever throw?
I wish I had asked her, but like I was like I wanted to know how much money am I saving by this being consensual adults? Like how much would I have had to pay for this blowjob had I been just a dude paying you?
But like blowjob where they make you put a condom on. I've never had that.
I've heard of that being a thing.
Stripper thing, like at the club, like you're like, hey, let's go to the back room. You throw a condom on, they don't want to get something.
I mean, like that makes sense. Like if you're sexual, but no, I've never had it.
Suck for them, like just rubber fucking lube. Like it's just
but sucking a regular dick, it probably can't be that great. But if you're getting the,
like plastic taste, like I just hate the smell after. Like I'm a condom guy. Like that's my move. Like I have That's why I don't have fucking STDs. Like,
probably should use the bug condoms here, but but yeah, no, it has like a weird anytime if you've been wearing like latex gloves or whatever, like your dick smells weird afterwards, and and it's just not the same. But yeah, you should wear wear condoms, folks. Oh, fun! One time a condom fell out of my pocket when I was with my mom when I was 18, when I was in high school. And she noticed. She went to pick it. She didn't realize what it was. And just something falls out of her pocket. She went to pick it up. And she was like, so I just put it back in. And then a couple minutes later, she was like, because you have to address it. She's like, I'm just glad you're being safe. And it's like, yeah, we don't have to talk about this ever again, Mom. Don't worry about it.
It's like my mom got me 300 condoms or whatever, like a Costco pack. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was 100. Yeah, I have no idea. But I was done in the first semester at ASU.
Oh, God.
Hey, I need a reload. Like, the fuck, man? But at least you knew I'm using them.
Yeah,
I'm not coming back going, hey, I gotta go to the doctor. It's itching down and burn.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have that. But, that's my go-to. And, whatever, the smell sucks, whatever, I'd rather just be safe than sorry, I guess.
I've had, it goes, they'd be like, oh, we don't have to work out. No, the fact that you, here's the thing. If you didn't, the fact that you are willing to not use a condom means that you're the kind of person that I should use a condom with. Yeah. But here's the thing. If you did that, I'd be if that didn't even cross your brain, then it's like a catch-22. I think that's what it's called. When you're if you're the kind of person that says fuck it, no condom, let's go. Well, you're the exact kind of person I should use a condom with. But if you're the kind of person that's religious about condoms, you're the exact kind of person that I don't have to use a condom with. You know what I mean? But it's so. But basically, but always use it. Unless you're with someone together and know that you're both getting tested and being monogamous. Yeah, don't fucking.
I had a girl when I first moved back here, redhead chick, Tinder, whatever the fuck it was like, hey, I have some whatever down there, not STD or whatever, but I can't have kids. You can come with me. I'm like, okay, the fuck are we talking about? She's like, no, I technically cannot have kids. They've already told me. She has a 3-year-old now.
I was about to say, because that seems because it's the thing with 99.9% of men will not rape you, and 99.9% of women will not lie about being on birth control. Yeah. but you fucking never know if those are like, because there are like, oh dude, I fucking got so many great stories. We'll just do multiple podcasts, dude, because I want to write down. That's why I actually brought the notebook out and then forgot I had it, because I want to write down stories that we like don't get into, but I do want to bring up because we like. But this lady I dated, it was actually my hockey coach.
Coach?
Yeah. Okay. So, and this is the thing where she definitely
like me, just trying to be your friend.
So she was there more to recruit, but and this one, like, maybe we shouldn't put this out. I don't know how fucking private this is. She's got a kid now. No, but I just mean like it's not my information. But like the second I give any, like, you would very quickly, like the second I give any details about it, be able to figure out exactly who it was. And it's not my sort of like, I don't want to be like. It's nothing like bad happened. Like, it wasn't that like crazy terrible, but like she just might not want this like out or whatever. But I'm just gonna go in and we'll just like kind of cut this part out.
Parker,
but
you
like,
can't fucking get away from us.
I'll just tell you this like as friends. But so she was more like recruiting coach. Like she was on the she was a national champion with a big college. And she was like a fourth liner with them, so like she played with some women you've heard of, like that are currently on the Olympic team, and she was like a fourth liner while they were on the power play type of shit, and so she knew him, and so she was like it's not like she was like had no business being out there, but like it's not like she was like good, like really teaching us that much stuff, but she was good enough at hockey, and she was amazing at social media and recruitment. Like she got so many people to like sign up, like she was more that side of it. But good enough at hockey to where she's still participating in the practices, passing, shooting on goalie, shit like that. But it was wild to me to be like, wait, this was a national champion college hockey player that like can barely lift a slap shot, like, and it was just, damn, that's crazy. But yeah, so she was also super like conservative religious, and I just like, my parents were fucking atheist thing, and it was just weird to me bring it up because she was crazy religious, super conservative, like Trumpy kind of, but like we had some really eye-opening because like I never knew any like super crazy conservative people. I don't mean crazy as in like I just mean crazy as in far the opposite direction from me. But like which also in her case she was a little crazy. But like so also that, but that's not how I meant it. But so she just desperately wanted kids. Like she really like
right away.
Yeah. No, so just in general, like not necessarily like even with me, like I talked to some other people that she had like talked about hooking up, like she had baby fucking fever. She wanted nothing more than to have a fucking kid. Like she like talked about, it's like, hey, like I was just like, I was like, yeah, we'll keep her. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to and I was like, I don't really want to, I don't want to like, let's wear condoms. Like I don't want to worry about having a kid. And she was like, no, I want a kid. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to be responsible. Like, no, you can go do whatever you want. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Like, and I was just like, first of all, you say that now, and second of all, like, but I'm also always gonna have that. But she was just like, yeah, we know this, and I was like, but also, like, you're like, oh, you want to have a kid with me? She's like, yeah, I want to have a child with you, and I was just like, we've been fucking for a week, and she was like, yeah, but we've like known each other for like a year, and I was like, that doesn't fucking count. Yeah. She was like, no, but it's been like a year. It's like, that doesn't, like, I wasn't thinking about you in the terms of romantic, like, could have a kid fucking type of shit. Like, it was like, and she, like, immediately, like, after we, like, you know, were doing shit, like, within a year, she was married, and within 2, she had a kid, and so I'm fucking great for her. That's what she wanted.
So many times. It's like nuts, dude. Like, this could have been you. I'm like, what the fuck are you messaging me for? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, thank God, by the way. Like, it's like the same, just like, yeah, like, that's a terrible thing. Like, it'd be like, this could have been you. Like, yeah, oh, thank Christ. Like, you want me to be jealous, but I'm like, whew, dodged a bullet on that one. It's like, this could have been you. Like, that's not my dream right now. At some point, it's just like, hey, if I'm gonna have kids, it's gonna be somebody smarter than you. But no, better matched with me, and by better matched, I mean like smarter. But yeah, I've had a thing. I think I might be like the last guy before, because I've had a lot of girls that, like, when we're done, they end up with somebody that they're really happy with long term. I've had a lot of people that, like,
how great is that feeling though? Like, fuck, you found it, man. Like, good for you. Or do you go, fuck
It's
me,
weird because it's like, I kind of feel like I'm somewhere in their terms of, like, their own personal growth, where, like, I have some of the qualities that they would want, but, like, not the exact thing, and so they kind of, like, because I've been with, a lot of girls that, like, they, like, didn't realize that some guys weren't assholes, and, like, their minds were blown. Like, this one girl I dated, like, she was a sorority, she'd, like, only hooked up with frat guys, and, like, dated frat guys, and I was, like, the first non-frat guy that she had been with at all. And, like, I blew her mind. Like, she was like, you're the greatest guy ever, what the fuck? Like, and I was like, hey, your standards are just abysmally low. Like
broken down.
You're like, oh my god, like we're so emotionally connected. It's like, no. We have a reasonable emotional connection, like the boyfriend and girlfriend, but like it's just the guys you've been with like are douchebags and are like don't have personalities, and it's like so you're like, oh my god, your place is so clean. My place isn't clean. It's clean compared to a frat house. You know what I mean? And like it's shit like that.
There's jugs everywhere.
Yeah, I have like a bit, like I don't do it anymore, but like I'll see it sometimes. Like if I'm looking through old clips, she'll be like, oh my god, do you have vegetables in your fridge?
Your fruits?
Like you have fruits and vegetables fresh?
They
That's
might
crazy.
not
Like
be,
your apartment doesn't just smell like beer and piss? Oh my god, everything in your bathroom works? Yeah, like you got a personality too? Like, yeah, fucking. I was like, hey, we can talk about like politics and science and shit. You don't just have to like, I don't just tell you about the last frat party you had or whatever. But like, yeah, so she was like, oh, you're the greatest guy. I was like, no, I'm just not a fucking frat douche. Like it's, and so like I like. So like open your mind, like they were dating. I'm like the transitioner, like half asshole, because I have like very asshole, fuckboyish tendencies, but I'm not like full. Like I'm also like have an intellectual, deeper side, and so I feel like that opened their eye, like, and they like end up like they do find the right person after me, but I'm like the transitionary period.
No, I was transition man. Like I don't fucking make a fucking figurine of me because that's all I did, and I was happy. There's a couple that went the opposite way. Like one girl, not on my fault at all. She was like a good, goody two shoes, and then now she's like a fucking prostitute after you dated. Like, cause you feel bad about that one. Yeah. So she went from just like doing nothing, like goody two shoes, to all of a sudden doing black tar heroin. I had no idea about this. It's all side,
Jesus.
And we only dated for say a month. And then all of a sudden, no text are coming back. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I didn't think I fucked this up. I don't try to burn bridges, right? So I'm like, what the fuck did I do? She was dead. She overdosed.
Jesus, dude.
And so, like, one of her last profile pictures is me and her. And, like, a third person, like, just at a party or something. I'm like, yo. And, like, people are commenting on her birthday now. It's been a while. Yeah. So it's like, I see that comments. It's like, oh, fuck, you look great. Like, miss you so much. And I'm like, in the picture. I'm like, oh, god damn it. Why did I let someone take this picture of me?
Yeah, and like, that's because you just get tangled in. Like, I have a friend that had to, like, it was in a super loving, like, a great relationship, but they had to break up because the partner had, like, a meth problem, and it was, like, the most heartbreaking thing in the world, and it was just, like, you had to, like, move out of town because, like, I don't want to one day see him, like, because, like, he was, like, on the homeless trajectory. Like, he was, like, it was, like, talking like with the guy's family and like and like kind of talking about like, and he was like on that way, like he was like on the last like ropes with his family. They were like, hey, we're at the point where like we're not gonna even help him anymore and give him a place to stay because like it's so fucked, and like in the relationship, and it was just like, I can't live in this town anymore because I can't see him like on the street. And like that would just break your fucking heart, and like that just sounded like the fucking goddamn craziest.
And maybe I just got accustomed to it, but like me, like throughout my life, my dad got traded every couple of years. So new city. I'll be the biggest guy at school. You're the tough guy now. It's just this crazy mentality.
Yeah, stuff that's nothing to you, like that you've gotten used to, might be like traumatizing to somebody else if they're not used to that type of like the abandonment or whatever type of thing.
And
like,
so I always felt like you're supposed to leave. Like after a year or 2 years, and like that, like juniors, you get traded, whatever. College, okay, you should probably stay there.
I know a lot of guys because we lived like right by a neighborhood, so like a ton of the guys that I played hockey with were military families, so they would be there for a couple years or whatever. And so it was that version of it, but like it's the same kind of thing. You got to be moving around for work all the time. It's a different type of person that like has to like be in a new place every time.
Once I left Arizona, like I don't know, fucking 100 chicks I hooked up with. Not saying I fucked all of them, but blowjob, whatever, made out, like just call it whatever it is for like whatever. But like I had girlfriends up until that point, and then I get there, cut all the ties, and then like for my brother-in-law, fucking Mikey, sorry about that, but they're like, hey, you want to go to Scottsdale? I'm like, no, because if I go to Scottsdale, it opens a can of worms, dude. Like I know me, like. We're gonna get drunk. I'm gonna have booty call. Like it's not like a good situation.
I've grown past Scottsdale. Like
exactly. You want to play some golf? Cool. Let's go play some golf. And it's us and the boys. We have an Airbnb on the course. Like that's a different situation. But like, let's just go there and it's a bachelor party and like you're like all the people to get the stuff and I'm like, no, I don't want to be the. I do,
but like that'll open it. Like that'll like I know the people, but like I know I shouldn't talk to those because like once I start texting, like I'll be like, hey, can you get something for the bachelor party, and I'll be like, hey, that's great, but like now I'm texting that guy again, and now I'm, it's that,
let me get a little extra for myself. It's just like, dude, I don't.
So, it's like, but next weekend I'll come and we'll do this. Yeah, it's just like.
So I go be part of the groomsmen at the wedding, and they're like, who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm the guy that didn't show up or text anyone back in the group chat. Like, I'm just, I was good. Once you said Scottsdale, if you said Denver, I'm there, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. But you can't tell me Scottsdale and then just like, I didn't burn bridges there either, but like, I know me, and it's just like, stay out of situations you know aren't good. So like, didn't go to that, no big deal. How much money would I save? Like, so much. Like $750, I assume. Flights, hotel, whatever. Like, it's a lot. And so I'm not a big bachelor. I'm not a big strip club guy either. I don't know why that popped in my head, but like, I went to one.
I've never been to a strip club. I've been to like places like where there's been strippers around at like a show, or like they're coming to do like a house thing. But like, it's like that doesn't really do it for me.
Our rookie
like,
parties at ASU were wild. Guys are taking.
Oh yeah,
shots
that's where we did it. Like,
pussy.
yeah, it's
what
like
the fuck. And then like a
strippers
handler's
out there,
like in the back, and she's like a big dyke, and she's
don't
like,
get it. Like, it was literally like the whole hockey team sitting in a living room, and there's like strippers doing a show in the center, and like the fucking one of the guys at the team he's like, hey, yeah, like fuck yeah, isn't this sick? And I'm like, no, like first of all, like I know we're not gonna fuck, like so this isn't a like it would be one thing to be like, oh, we might fuck, like oh that's great, like it's not hot to me in the same way, like in seeing her take her fucking bra off, it doesn't turn me on the same way like I have a girl home and she's taking her bra, like oh, like I'm excited, you know, it's like, but it's not even that, because like in Pornhub at least I'm gonna fucking jerk off. I'm not gonna jerk off, like we're just sitting here like getting turned on together, like fuck yeah dude, like isn't this sick? No, it's not, like we're paying these women, like they're professional, they're doing their job, like it's weird.
Yeah, this is part of our payment for this party.
Because like a lot of what makes sex exciting is that you're worth it. It's like they're validating you by saying like, hey, I'm showing you that you're worth doing this with, like, you know, but like if you're just paying, like, you know, you're just doing it as a job. It's not special.
So I have my buddy Joey. Sorry to tell this story, Joey. So he walks out in our living room one day, and me and my roommate Richie are just playing shell. We're just ripping shell. We're playing a tournament, like set it all up, you know, whole 9 yards. We got the night to kill. Joey gets a prostitute after that strip club night that I told you about one time. Never been again. So he gets like a lot of contacts while he's there, whatever, gets a prostitute over. And he says it's cheaper than having a girlfriend. He paid $250, I'll take her out.
Fuck, I gotta finish the hooker story. But yeah, go ahead.
So he comes out, I'll make it real quick. We're playing video games. He walks out, condom on, fully naked, just like half off, full condom. He goes, hey boys, there's 45 minutes left. He took the first 15. And so he's like, hey, you guys want to tag in? I already paid her for it. I'm like, no.
That's the one time I might, like, if it's just sitting there, I'd be like,
what? And she was like, fucking like Brazilian big. She walked out right after and sat down on the couch. And I'm like, fucking smell this. Like, this isn't. I'm like, dude, no.
That's why, dude, like, it was my favorite thing about hooking up with that chick that was at one point a sex worker. Like, it was just, like, how upfront she was. And, like, she was totally open. It's like, do you mind if I ask you, like, 500 questions about it? It's like, yeah, no, go ahead. And it was just how open she was about it. And it was, like, it was fucking interesting as shit. But, like, so her trick was, so she would go to shady guys' places all the time. And, like, knowing that everybody could beat the shit out of her because she's a lady, you know? And so dudes, like, she said that more than once she was, like, locked in, and they were like, haha, you're mine now. And so she was like, I know I can't fight back, but her act was, and this is for all the ladies, like, sometimes, like, whenever this comes, I kind of want to say this is a PSA, like, this is a great strategy, because you might not be able to overpower this guy and get out, but what you can do, ladies, is get away from him and break expensive shit up to the point where he's like, he doesn't want you in his house. Like, you can't get out, but you can make him want you out. And so, like, you could get away. So she said, like, a guy would, like, be like, haha, you're mine now. He'd lock the door, be like, ha 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 ha. And then so she would just, as long as she could get away from him, she would just be breaking TVs and the most expensive looking things she could find. She'd just start breaking shit until it was like, no, Jesus, leave, like, you can go now. So, like, that's just this genius, because it was just like, aha, I'm gonna fucking beat you up and rape you. And it's like, and she's like, well, now you don't have a TV. I'm gonna break your window next to it. It's just like, it's like, all right.
I assume most of those guys are not in good money situations, right? Like, you break their TV, fuck me, that's $600.
Yeah, I don't know what level of hooker she was or whatever, but like, the point is, like, most guys, like, they don't want their TV broken. Like, they might be a monster, but you're not, like, if you're just gonna keep breaking shit, like, Jesus, fuck, yeah, no, go out of here.
Just try to get rid
But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, ladies, if you're ever in a shady situation, don't try to fight. Try to just break as much shit as you can so that he just lets you out. She's like, get the fuck out of here.
You break my PlayStation 5, you are no longer welcome here. Like, I would be like, no.
But here's the thing, if you try to, like, hold a lady hostage and rape her, you deserve to have your PlayStation broken. You deserve to have everything broken. Like, you deserve to, like, have your fucking cock bitten off or whatever. Like that's like I don't get like there's like rapists just like, hey, you know she can fucking like rip your cock off like. She's like that's the like every once in a while like I'll be getting ahead like and I'll like start to lose my book because I'll be like I'll just have like some thought in my head like especially like fucked up or something. Just like, goddamn, she could just bite my whole cock off. Like
what
I was
time
just
do you
like,
have to do your stand-up?
oh shit, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Like the one I'm going to is at 8.
So it's
Yeah, in terms of cut, we should probably cut the podcast, but like,
you got any last words? I do have to take a piss. So
last little bit, but
you keep
yeah.
ripping a quick piss.
But yeah, eat your vegetables. Jesus. Just the fucking the neon shit. Everything's fine. Like there's no like nothing broke. They just slid off because they're just they're not like fastened. They just like slid off the fucking thing. But everybody got their donate to charity is good. Whatever. I don't give a fuck which charity, but like find one that like does a good job. Not one of those ones where it's just like they don't use the money right. Like go look it up. Like find out how effective they are. There's like charities.com. There's like websites to like rank them and like see how good it is. But like go help people. If you only have enough money for yourself, live right. But if you have extra money that you're not using, give it to poor people. Usually I was just saying like if you have extra money, give some of it to fucking poor people. Because there's people where like you're like, oh, I got an extra, couple $100 I'm not gonna use. Who gives a fuck? Like there's like you get like $100 saves a life. Like in some parts of the world.
A guy on the side of the road, you can give it to
well, not in America. No, I'm saying no. Give it to like a good organization, a good like well-ranked, like well-repudiated charity that is like super efficiently run that turns every dollar into saving lives. Because there's a lot of charities out there that are borderline scams or that are just bad at like. And for every charity that's a scam, there's 10 that are just not good charities. Because like giving like I could give $10 to certain charities, and I've done more good than somebody who gives $500 to a shitty charity because they're not good with how they use their money, or it's like a dumb thing. Like some of the charities that people fucking give to, I'm a big effective altruism guy. Like is there like if you spend your money on like mosquito nets or vaccinations for people in the third world, like you're literally like saving lives with like $100. And whereas like
in Chicago, you're like, fuck, I give $40 to this dude on the side of the road, hurricane relief. You're like, that's not good.
No. Do your research, but like, if you have extra money, give it to poor people. They need it. Like, you're literally, you could turn an entire community around in fucking South Sudan with what you like throw away in a year on bullshit or like whatever do with the fuck. But basically, I don't have enough money to give to people, but you should.
I always think
that's
like
the message.
when I get my tax return, right? It's kind of free money. I think of that way, like, oh, I just got $3,000 back. Like, what? But I also need that fucking $3,000. Like, so I kind of teeter with it, like, oh, fucking $100 here. To be honest, I don't know if I've given $1 to a homeless person. I gave $5 to a chick that's off 183 in Burleson. She's always there, real cracked
with the homeless.
out.
My rule with the homeless is
she told me I was cute, so I'm like, fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, she deserves some money. She's a nice lady. Well, you're a cute guy. She's just pointing out what's going on, But yeah, no, like with almost like if you make me laugh, like you'll have somebody like if somebody's cracking jokes, like hey, that's great. Like somebody would be like, hey, jokes for $1. I'd be like, fuck yeah, here's a $5. Give me some jokes. Like
so we had this guy at a concert one. Me and my best friend Sarab. I don't know if you want to call me your best friend anymore, you fucking loser. But we go to this concert, right? We're going outside, and the first guy, like some guy walks around giving hugs. I'm like, no, we're not giving this guy a hug. No. You see, he's already running the table. Gets to us, like, I want to give you a hug. I'm like, nah, we're good, man. He's like, well, can I give you a fact? I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So he tells us something interesting, whatever. Then another guy comes up about 20 minutes later and is like, hey, can I give you all a hug? I'm like, well, someone already doing that, dude. Like, he took my shit. He took my fucking skit. I'm like, your skit? And he's like, yeah, that's my thing. And I'm like, okay, well, the last guy taught us something. Can you just teach us something instead? Yeah. And he's like, what's that on your arm? And some girl had given me this spinny thing that, like, you can go arm to arm and just spins. Yeah. There's a kind of like fidget spinner, but for your arms. And he's like, yeah, dude, let me show you. So he takes it off my arm, and some chick or guy, whatever, gave it to me. And I'm like, I thought this was like a fucking token or some shit. I don't know, like a sprout you put on your hat, like at the concerts. And so I'm like, yo, tell me about this. Like, oh, watch this. And like does it through. And he's like, this is a fidget spinner and all that shit. I'm like, fuck yes. Like, such a weird way to do the night, but I'm like, okay, well, the first guy was a weirdo and gave us a fact. Let's get more facts.
Dude, one thing that I really want to do, and I think I might do it with Greg, because I didn't want to do it by myself. Like, I wanted to bring like a case of beer to the homeless and camp, be like, hey guys, like you can either have this or we can drink this together. Like, I just want to hear some stories and shit. Like, I just like
with some homeless. Oh my
yeah,
God.
and just
Me
like
and you should
learn
just
about
go
them.
do that.
But that's the thing. Like, so I just didn't have somebody that I wanted to do it with. Like, I didn't have a close friend at the time when I was like living in Seattle that I would go like do that with. Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, yeah, they fucking. I got Seattle homeless stories, but we'll next time. But but like I want to go because my buddy's got a gun. So, like, two of us. One of us got a gun, like, in case shit goes bad, like, then we can do it, because, like, I don't feel safe, like, just going in, and, like, I don't want to be, like, use you for like, some of these people that go up and approach, like, homeless guys, like, it feels gross, like, what they're doing, like.
I went and gave the guys a tracksuit before the freeze, like, 2 years ago, the real bad one. I have all these extra tracksuits, I coached everything, right? So I'm like, here's 2 tracksuits, keeps the wind down, keeps you warm, fucking throw a hoodie, whatever underneath.
I mean, like, using for content or whatever. Like,
yes,
that's what I
did. So and it wasn't like it got a lot of views. I just videotaped, like, here you go, buddy. I fucking hate that company I used to work for. Here's a fucking tracksuit.
That's not bad. I mean, like, there's people that will go and, like, get them to do weird shit or, like, clearly taking advantage of them or whatever, and, like, to get some peace, because I don't want to do that, but, like, I'll be like, hey, like, you could, like, I'm here, like, I didn't realize this is your fucking, like, house that I, like, walk through to get to the bus stop every day, but, like, I was wondering, like, hey, like, you would just, like, just have a chat, like, you're human beings and shit.
Stories. Like, how the fuck did you get here?
It's just, like, the thing, it's just, like, I know 99% of them are just regular dudes that, like, you know, have a mental health or a drug problem or whatever the fuck, like, bad family or some shit, but, like, I also know that, you know, one out of however there's just a chance that one of them's a fucking crazy murderer that is gonna fucking, you know, just kill me and take the fucking $30 in my pocket and whatever the fuck, like. But so, like, yeah, I just want to do it safely, but, like, I really that's fucking interesting. Like, I want to go try that shit out.
Yeah,
let's go do that, dude. Let's go fucking bring a case of beer to some fucking homeless dudes and, like. And, like, also give them options, like, hey, we don't need to fucking record this. Like, can we record this? Like, you know, like, but we don't feel the need to. Like, you know.
Well, that's next up, boys. I feel like episode 10.
Live from a home, like, live from under a bridge,
live
baby.
On location.
Terrible audio, but fucking great stories. That's what we'll do.
Bring the whole setup.
Yeah. She's hilarious. But, yeah, no, we gotta wrap up and all that, all this good stuff. Fucking, yeah, no, I said my shit about homeless stuff, But yeah, you know, yeah, give money to charity, like, take care of yourself. I don't know who listens to this, but thank you. Oh, at Jokes by Dudley. Follow me on Instagram. Should have put that at the beginning. At Jokes by Dudley.
And I think this is the way I'm going to finish the podcast. There's a guy named Mike Maneri. He's a piece of shit. Got my friend addicted to black tar heroin. Dude. Right?
Goddamn.
So, a quick story, and we'll finish it with this. We did a phone call with all the company for Prohibitions, right? There's probably 40 people in the call, right? Yeah. You put your shit on mute after you say I'm here or whatever. They can't tell if you're there. It's not a Zoom call.
Yeah.
So he's like, who's here? Kyle Hughes, whatever. And then Mike Maneri is like, Mike Maneri. And that was it. And dude, the entire time during the conversation with all the coaches, I go, Mike Maneri. And they're like, all right, Mike, we got it. And I'm like, Mike Maneri. And they're like, Mike, we're good. Can you mute your mic?
But it was other people?
Yeah, everyone's dying laughing.
Just because he had a wacky voice?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
He didn't even have a wacky voice. Maybe just put a twist on it to make it funny. And so the same way I'm going to end every episode is thank you for listening and make me needy.
Also, yeah, no, here's my version of that. Fuck Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Fuck Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Worst town on the planet, dude. If you could... I want to infest Poplar Bluff, Missouri with fucking rabies, dude. Poplar, worst town in America, on the planet, in the Milky Way. Worst fucking place ever. I would rather, dude, I would be like, hey man, like, I've taken all your shit. You're at gunpoint, Alex Dudley, and you gotta go live in a cave in Afghanistan or Poplar Bluff, Missouri. I would be like, I'll have a good time. That cave will be nice. I'll do it up. I'll like have it like, but fuck Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and
Poplar.
make Maneri.